Yeah, I didn't play this. She looks pretty cool. Her abilities look
Yeah,
pretty cool when I saw.
Zeke was cool. I never played her because I don't know. I didn't like the way she looked. I don't know if she was a cat person with like tentacle face.
Yeah, she's
I
like
was
futuristic kind of
yeah,
character.
I was like, whoa, what's going on with that? As we're, actually starting to find ourselves here now, the early lane selection phase of the finals here for your tournament, man. Do you have any thoughts about how it's just gone so far? Not
It's
asking you to reflect too hard, but still.
yeah, it's been awesome, man. The community showing up. We've been averaging around 100 plus viewers. It's been awesome. The support around the community is just really good, and the main thing is just giving the players that really enjoy this game a platform and a place to compete, to get better, and then ultimately again the goal is to grow the game. Like, we all enjoy it, we're all here, everyone that's in here, we enjoy this game a lot, we want it to grow, and so this is one of the ways to help grow the game. Competitiveness is what keeps what drives MOBAs to grow.
I have to agree, man. Totally agree there. And a big part of it for me too is like seeing these players play well helps other people aspire
Yeah.
to play to that same caliber, right? Like you see, maybe you see a misplay and you're like, oh, well, I could do this. And so you get in, you try it, you're like, oh, that wasn't good. But the first time you do, and like you get that succession, that feeling of growth and fulfillment. I feel like that is a large part of what drives a lot of communities, and I hope it is going to be a large part of what drives this one. As we're going to see a Muriel and Aurora band first pick going to be going over to top 10, as we are now at the launching point for the draft, truly, and it's going to be a Sparrow
Ooh.
pick first off
First
the rip.
pick.
Give it to Sippy. Give it to Sippy. We know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how does this team in bad timing respond?
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, Chad. I forgot the predictions. They're gonna hate me. Wait,
Oh,
did I? Yeah, I didn't do predictions. Sorry, chat. All right, there's predictions. They're gonna be mad.
Spirit.
Sparrow first pick, Mako, and then Crunch.
Oh, it feels like a little bit maybe of a respect pick. I do know the bad timing is able to play it well, plead very well able to operate on that crunch if they do want to take him to jungle. A character is proficient in, but even more so than that, keeping the combination of Sparrow and Grux, not Sparrow and Grux, Sparrow and Crunch away from each other, definitely very strong, but a good pick of Revenant and Grux to follow up. It looks like this team in top 10, no matter who you ban, no matter who you take, they're going to be able to pivot to this strat, and a big pick of my boy Gideon. I love him. I absolutely love him into this comp.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Gideons. We've been seeing Bellicas, Howitzers, and Rangers. We haven't seen a lot of Gideon, but going with the Gideon and Rampage. I'm a big fan of Rampage in the jungle, but it looks like we might see him in the solo lane. But Rampage is just a really good character, and you have to respect him when he's diving your backline and being able to stun the Ranger and absorb a lot of damage. Rampage is going to be a good pick, and we have Drongo being picked up to finish out the draft for BT. And we have Decker and Shinbi being the final picks there for
Indeed. Boy there. For sure. And a Gideon, a very good pick into this team comp. Utilizing, you're not going to get it frequently, but being able to utilize that blink into your teleport into your blink to get out of shooting range of these carries, forcing them to either burn blink or in Refton's case, possibly burn ult, can be massive in a team fight, especially when you have the frontline prowess that is going to come with the crunch and the CC range spatial control that Vecron is going to have on this Mako.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Game
number one. Game number one of the finals, man. I'm hyped to see these two teams, two NA teams. They're definitely familiar with one another, playing each other in competitive. I love that little that when that happens. But playing in the rank scene, they're definitely familiar with each other's playstyle, and this will be fun, man. I love seeing the Gideon. Man. I think Gideon is a really, really good pick. Howitzer was available, but Gideon being picked up here and not having a Howitzer to counter the Gideon, pretty good pickup, I think, here.
The airspace is going to definitely be open here, man. And this game one, Cordy, we are looking at it. These are two NA teams. And we have seen the tanky teams, the sustained meta, and the EU fall. So this is going to be aggro versus aggro, and Plead on the rampage is going to be a huge conductor of that. We saw it just yesterday. The combination of him into the Belka, lacking the Belka this time, but you're still getting a bit of hard CC coming out of your Gideon, can result in a lot of very quick burst that can result in forcing a back early as the Sparrow, or at least forcing the burning of the beats. But we also know that Sippy, when put in barrel, his priority is not to get away, it's to get damage across. And if his team is able to follow up with him, or there's a misstep coming out of bad timing, we know that it can result in a kill here for the top 10 players.
Yeah, not having that burst like a Belka does with the ult, but Gideon still able to combo well with an easy rock. And first blood
Within
so
the
early.
side lane, going to top 10 immediately. Looks like some trades gone wrong, and that is going to be the opposite of what you want to see here. If you are a bad timing fan of Blub and the boys here as they are laning now up, and it's going to be Decker utilizing the stun, rooting in place, followed by an immediate stun, followed by the use of a follow-up link to clear the space from the Revenant, resulting in yet another kill here for bad timing. Playing with confidence, and as Sparrow makes her way back to the lane, she's going to let him know, hey man, that was kind of weak. That wasn't what I was expecting. Back from the gray screen with a little bit of fierceness here.
All right, so the dual lane, the green gem being bought by the Decker here, so that is gonna hurt them in the long run. I mean, not getting that passive gold that you do get from the Yellowstone, and whenever your jungler or your carry clears, you're not gonna get that gold. So he's only relying on passive gold, gonna be in that laning phase, unless he decides to switch late here and swap over to Yellowstone. It'd be interesting to see if that is a play that he does, and actually it is. So the early aggression for the greens though, just to get that early kind of play, and then I'm gonna swap over. So
yep, the immediate swap over, knowing that what they are trying to do is going to require you to take a little bit of damage, right? And that awareness that, wait, Revenant isn't in trouble, Chase under the tower, he is going to be safe. Over the top, it is going to be a blink from him to get away, choosing life within this instance over utilizing a little bit of his tools for later. It is going to be Rev returning back to tower here, but yeah, using that green gem to be able to just mitigate a little bit of that early damage you know that you're going to be taking here. Because if you're playing Decker, a lot of the time you're going to be zoning, you're going to be stunning, but in order for you to get those autos across, you're going to need to get a little bit closer than what you may be comfortable with. So a very good play out of this team early on in top 10, utilizing the green stone into the yellow.
I like this early invade. The thing about Shinbi is her clear is not the best. She doesn't provide a lot of damage when it comes to the early game. It's, again, like I said last time, she's a ticking time bomb. When it comes to like mid game, when she hits level 11, gets an extra point in her ult, gets a few items online, then she becomes a big threat. But early game, until then, she's not. So I do like that early invade there. And the combos from mid lane here, Sippy forced to blink out.
Indeed, and I agree with you there. Shinbi.
No, that was
clear, not too good.
That was Sippy that dashed away, not Indeed.
Oh my God, you did not do me like that. In the face of the people. Got me miscalling names here. But yeah, I for sure have to agree with you. It is not going to be very good clear here early for Indeed. More than likely going to need to just vouch a little bit off, and Shinbi going to have to utilize both of those dashes to create a little bit of distance, throwing out a wolf, but it will miss in the mid lane. A little bit of a skirmish here as Gideon does teleport out. There's going to be a disengage from both sides, and Shinbi looking to get her farm where she can while she can on the bad side of the stick of an invade this time. This is a very off trait pick for Indeed and the way he likes to play. However, with having the grunge taken, with having the rampage swung to the side of bad timing, you know that it is something he can play well on, but I almost completely expected him to be bringing in this Grux as we saw last time instead of the Shinbi, but trusting in a solo laner to kind of bring through that tankiness and spatial control for the late game. I'm very excited to see how they scale something we don't say too often within the face of top 10. It's very much so. Yeah, the guarantee of the early game, and Plead just sitting at the window of that duo lane, making sure top 10 knows they push up, it's going to be a bit of a party.
I was saying the slight invade there by Narek, seeing that Shinbi was down on their buff, just rotated in. I believe he sold some of the items or some of the camps here. But we do have a grouping here on the objective. Earth Spirit is going to be the spirit of choice.
Here it comes, looking for the pick. Crunch engaging off of the side on the back line is Rampage. Close to the side, towards the mid is going to be Plead. Spilling into the mid lane is going to be this team in top 10. The smoke, and they're looking for it. Inhale, deep breath. It is going to be them sitting mid for now. Making a rotation towards Spirit. Crunch following from the backside, far off, crossing mid lane. Mako, Drongo, Health looking relatively good. Ready for a rotation onto this objective. Letting this team know early in top 10 that nothing will be free. They're willing to fight for it. It is going to be Plead, who's forced to disengage after taking a bit of aggro. Burn down is going to be Rampage, but a good ult from the Gideon overhead on his way down. Forced to utilize his blink out. It is going to be a very big, very angry Rampage, looking to bring down the Revenant. The takeout has been brought down. The Shinbi has been brought down as it is one by one. Top 10 begins to follow blink out in order to preserve a little bit of life, but then they pull it on the immediate, and it is all but for sure. This is going to be 4 down for top 10, as it is the bad timing boys beating this team over the head with the clock, because it's your time to meet the timer. It's your time to meet that great chain. It's going to be the inside in favor of bad timing.
Triple for Blub here, getting the carry fed early. Tossing the question emotes. What are you guys thinking trying to box these guys?
What are you thinking, man? Letting me get a triple this early, top 10.
Full item completed. Oof.
It is going to be the crossbow built first item for him. A little bit of that attack speed, but do not forget 40 physical power, not small, within the first 10 minutes of the game, built early on the back of that triple kill, and also allowing for every successful basic attack on the enemy to increase Drongo's power here. So these drawn out fights become a little bit easier, and this burst becomes a little bit better, but it is going to be a dashing coming from the Crunch, looking to lock down this team, but it will still be top 10 able to secure the objective here to scale later into the game. It will be Earth Spirit, very big, but would be even bigger for this team, as it is no Drongo with the radioactive round, selecting himself another kill, forced to ask the question, top 10, what are you doing, and whose jungle is this? Which one is it? We're here to find out. 9 minutes on the horizon, and top 10 versus bad timing, having taken the 6-2 lead.
BT just doing a better job of playing top 10's game, getting that early aggression, getting some kills, getting the invades after the kills, and top 10 able to get the objective, was able to get the Earth Spirit, the Swole Spirit, as you like to say.
The Swole Spirit.
The Swole Spirit. But yeah, right now, BT doing a really good job of just being the aggressors. We can see if, like to see if top 10 can bounce back, getting punched in the mouth early on. They did a lot of punching last game against the Poon Slayers, so we'll see if they can come back and bounce back from this.
While we do have a little bit of time here, I will tell you, previously when we saw these teams going up against each other, not within this tournament, however, when playing in Overpowered, it actually was top 10 who won it 2-0. Not ultra convincingly in both of those games. It was relatively tight, but the second game running off with it, have we seen top 10 has done before. I talked to Blub immediately after that game. I was like, hey man, how was the game? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you like the competition? And he's like, we're making changes. I'm like, why? And he says, we can't be losing like that. In fact, we can't be losing at all. And after hearing that, I'm getting a look here at this Drongo. All the Emorts, just looking like Black Air Force Blub is on the horizon. Those 2 early kills, the only ones that it's going to be top 10 able to get here within the first 10 minutes of the game, as they're going to be lined up across the map here from bad timing, playing some of their best Paragon yet.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see when it comes to late game, how if a caster in mid is going to be the play, or if Rangers are going to be the ones dominating in this meta for this game. So it'd be interesting to see if double Rangers late game might just be too powerful for casters. Right now we have a Shinbi doing a little rotation. Indeed, trying to get this this bounty that we have on Drongo. Early right now at 400 bounty.
Now, one thing we do have to keep in mind here is we're 10 minutes in, and it's not looking great for top 10. This is not the position they want to be in. They are very firmly behind on their curve, despite getting that dare. But you have to take some level of solace in knowing that you are approaching a better late game than this team is. Double carry, we've seen that the tankiness does not measure up against the damage when it gets late. So with time, Sparrow and Revenant are going to be able to close that gap. As from the side lanes, it is going to be a disengage here coming out of top 10 and a little bit of a cheeky Mako Walnut. I tell you what, dude, that move right there has been the focal point of a lot of my tilt throughout my games personally here, but they're going to shrug it off the shoulders before rotating back into their own discernible lane. Sparrow and Sippy pushing out a little bit here. Not sure if he has that blink up, if this team is looking ready to invade their side jungle or maybe dive in on this tower, but it looks like this team within bad timing is going to continue their rotation towards right and prime Guardling's appearance.
Yeah, right now we're just. I feel like top 10 can be the ticking time bomb here. They have the Shinbi in the jungle. They have 2 Rangers. When it comes to the late game, they will be doing crazy amounts of damage. We'll see if they can get to late game if BT doesn't try to end it before that is possible. Underling is going to go down, and it looks like they're pushing on right side here.
And it is going to be a knockup coming from the Crunch, but a preemptive blink out of the Grux, very aware that this is only the beginning of the rotation. Prime Underling taken. It is going to be a drop onto the solo lane, a little precarious, but it will be Prime Spirit approaching here now. Earth Spirit in particular, or as I like to call them, Swole Spirit, dropping down to get some gains within the Spirit near the duo lane in just about 15 seconds, as it's going to be Gideon here getting a little bit of damage across, and one point that should be made here, and this is not a knock against any of the previous competition of top 10. This is the most responsible we have had to see Sippy playing mid. Hands down, throughout some of his games, this is a lot of caution being exercised. The trades he's not taking. In previous increments, we saw him closing the distance, getting positive trades, and with this Gideon, this has not quite happened. Narek locking down Sparrow to the mid lane and refusing to give her the lead that she's been able to develop within some of the other games.
Yeah, we have a little positioning here from top 10. Gonna go for this mid tower really quickly while the BT is gonna be going for the objective, going for the Swole Spirit.
The Swole Spirit, and it is an especially good one to get when you're gonna have Grux on the opposing side. Yes, but on this team in bad timing is going to be Crunch and Rampage, 2 characters who benefit heavily from the Spirit, and it is almost completely uncontested going to go to the Earth team, but it is going to be a steal, as it is going to be a big Gruxel to shut down Shinbi. Now burst it down, a trade my life for the Spirit, 10% defense for my Grux in exchange for my life, and I'm going to be honest, dude, that feels like a hell of a trade in their favor.
Yeah, that is just very frustrating, having the team prepared and set up, and the Shinbi just coming in, getting a double dash and sealing it last second. You hate to see that. Next patch, I'm hoping that we no longer see Destroy Zone and it just comes to a clean team setup, wins the objective for the most part. But good steal there by Indeed on the Shinbi, getting 2 Swole Spirits, 12% physical and magical defense.
Indeed, and that, oh man, I want to say that is a big momentum play for this team. However, it wasn't necessarily clean. You did lose Indeed in the process. You're still down 7-2, and that kill didn't necessarily go into the pocket of a support. You did get a little bit more tanky. However, your team isn't primarily tanks, your damage. You're a lead, and you're looking for that all throughout the game. So as good as it is that you didn't give it up to the enemy team, I will say that as it sits now, I'd still put bad timing firmly in the driver's seat. However, it is going to be the boys in top 10 here now making a little bit of noise in the passenger, saying, hey, pass me that ox. You know, you keep letting that happen, we might get you to dance to our tune. And it is not to be knocked on the fact that that little bit of extra tankiness can be pretty big for a Sparrow, pretty big on a rev, whether that's on a dive or pulling someone into the shadow realm. It can buy time, but what you're trying to do is erase the clock and take the timing away from this team with blub and bad timing. And it's going to take a good, organized, clean team fight for me to believe that they're now in the process of doing just that.
Yeah, and I'm just I'm looking at Indeed here on the Shinbi. Just once the Shinbi gets to that mid game, getting one more item, maybe 2 more items online, getting an extra point. At that stage of the game, we're gonna see the backline for bad timing just pretty much get deleted. So this time bomb is starting to expire. Getting the double rangers online and getting that Shinbi in the jungle.
And that is one thing that we've seen, I would say, lacking here is not nearly, in my opinion, enough invading coming out of bad timing here. We've seen top 10 do it, and we know that this other team is capable of doing it as well. You have the advantage. Now it's time. Sit on the jungle, make your smite better, set that Shinbi, set Indeed himself behind. Emotes aren't getting you advantage. Emotes are going to tilt them, emotes are going to insult them, and emotes might make you feel a little bit better. But personally, I prefer blue buffs. I prefer red counts. I prefer 3 spots. I prefer big guys. And I prefer extending that lead. And outside of Drongo and bad timing being able to basically just solo farm over in the duo lane, they haven't been making as many steps. They're going stagnant within this moment. So it's going to now be on top 10 to try to take advantage of that and throw themselves back in the lead.
Yeah, this is definitely just favoring top 10 with their late game team comp that they have. No objective up. The Guardian is going to be spawning at 18 minutes, or 18 seconds, sorry, but no one's going to be pulling that early. We have 1 more Spirit spawning pretty soon. That'll be our next team fight, and by that time, we should see Shinbi taking over to level 11 and getting that second item, and from there, we'll keep an eye out and see how much damage she's doing to that backline.
And it is now going to be rotating as 5, as top 10 is known to do. Setting up top, though, there is going to be the crunch. They're very aware that he's there, and they're going to send somebody to defend that inhib as Decker floats around the side. Shows a little bit of cheekiness there. I'm very aware you're there, Crunch. As a matter of fact, let's get on camera, but it is now going to be Rampage engaging Big Ol coming out of him. That's going to be a lot of tankiness. As the health bar, we get a drop over the top head. It's going to be Eric on the Gideon. That's only a 2-man, though, as this team fight is migrated to the side. It is going to be Black Air Force Blood collecting the first kill as Interfire burns bright, but does not burn its way through the thick candle within its the life bars of this team with bad timing. As the clock strikes 12, once again, it will be 2 who fall for top 10. And it is going to be bad timing who get out, not scot-free, but with no one dead.
Yeah, good play there by BT. The great engage by Rampage. I said it before, I do like the Rampage jungle. I think he's really good, and Plead doing a really good job of just being that big frontliner and doing a lot of damage to the backline, forcing Shinbi back and low health, getting the blinks out, and Gideon jumping in there, getting a few ults and forcing more blinks. It's great plays there by BT, and they're getting set up. Hopefully, we're not seeing another steal. Okay. They got it. They're able to secure it.
It is going to be BT locking down that Earth Spirit. I will say, amazing spacing coming from them there, pulling it up, hop tie their side, crunch on the down, also right. So if someone comes in to try to come through mid to peel it off, he was going to be able to be there for the entirety of that engagement. A very clean take, all things considered here, for bad timing, as it is going to be them securing their spot here within the driver's seat. 9-2 kills. The only advantage that this team has in top 10 right now is that they have up 1 Earth Spirit, and that they know their late game is going to scale very well. Yeah. But I will say, a Gideon Rock, man, a Gideon Rock 30 minutes deep is not something to scoff at. I'm pretty sure that lad, he raced the dinosaurs because his T wasn't quite right on Space Station 6.
Yeah,
so it is going to come down to execution for both of these teams.
Caster's late game, they do crazy amounts of damage. Getting their combos, getting with a pull rock combo can almost delete if they're building Desert. Now that Desert's not being popular in the carry builds, we could see just a full on deletion from a pull rock late game from Gideon. So keeping that space, and same thing goes again. I keep looking at the Shinbi. Level 11, got that extra point, going back and getting their second item. Well, Shinbi is when it comes to late game, probably the hardest hitting character in the game, getting those stacks, able to fight one other person, getting multiple abilities off and getting their wolves off, and then stacking it up, and then turning to the back line to someone else and just pressing the ult and one-shotting them pretty much. So again, this Shinbi is definitely a ticking time bomb, but Plead trying to do a good job of getting that invade off and keeping them on the right level.
Have to do. That's what you have to do right now. You are firmly in the lead here in bad timing, and you have to solidify that. You have to lock that down incrementally, minion by minion, one by one. At times it can be a little bit risky because we know top 10 are one to group up for, you know, singular to low risk or high risk games. It does not matter to them, front or back stab. But if you want to solidify and expand the lead to where victory is within direct grasp, you got to take some of those risks from time to time. And we've seen it here out of bad timing. We've seen that mechanically, they also get better as the game goes, allowing themselves to warm up. However, as we haven't seen too much of a large 5-on-5 team fight, not just bordering over an objective getting taken and then a disengage getting called, I feel like a large part of it is going to be decided there. And I'm excited to see it either way and which way that it does swing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting matchup here. Right now, just have a little bit of farming, 22 minutes in the game. No one's going to be pulling the prime objective yet. Prime objective is definitely a risky pull. So right now, we just see a little grouping on mid, trying to get this mid tower down and possibly waiting for another spirit. Maybe trying to get a few picks here and there and then have the confidence to pull the prime guardian. But as of right now, just a little gathering here in mid.
Yeah, it is going to be a stun here onto the rampage. He's going to be looking to disengage here in the middle lane, as it is going to be a soft defense here set up. Myth looking to possibly push out here as Crunch is going to be rotating on to the left. While we have a moment here, taking a look at build, seeing the Vampire sword is going to now be successfully built onto the Crunch, followed up by a lantern and Plead. The iconic rampage combo, especially early, of that artificial gravity inductor, followed up by the Zimias, and even more physical defense on the way. We know that late game when that chainsaw can get online, that it can definitely be a tempo swing in favor whatever team is running the double carry. However, as it sits now, Plead is going to be a hell of a man to kill, and he is going to be a hell of a disruption in all of these team fights and all of these objective plays.
It'd be kind of interesting to see, and this typically happens when it through teams where the solo laner is a little bit out farmed than the jungler, so the jungler will decide to give up the smite. Right now we do have a lead, maybe a lead and a half, or Crunch over the rampage in the jungle. So it'd be interesting to see if we see a swap. Right now a 2-level lead. Level 15 is Cranky Trashcan, the highest level on in the game right now. So it'd be interesting to see if we see him swap out, get the smite, and have a higher secure on these objectives to make sure that they guarantee get that smite.
For sure here, as it is going to now be possibly an engage over here to the side. Bruck's going to be missing a pull here. However, on my side of the stream, things going a little bit laggier, but it does look like it is going to be a general disengage coming from this before this team in bad timing does come down on top of the Earth Spirit here. Now looking to prioritize blocking is going to be the Crunch inside bush rampage soloing with the damage of Zimias is going to allow this to go in favor of bad timing for next to free 99. Plead with a little bit of a lead with a lot of physical defense.
So we have an engage here.
Spirits in his pockets. It's going to be a big engage. And a follow-up to it. It's going to be a wolf, but Plead is going to hit the skedaddle key, making his way back. It is going to be a wolf dashing forward, a big Decker cage, and a lot of
great Gideon ult.
Follow-up. What amazing ults coming out of both sides of these teams. As Gideon is going to lock down one member, and Crunch a second as 2 fall for top 10. BT surging forward behind their tanks, behind their damage, are going to mow through the health bar.
Drago, full health.
Before calling the disengage. An amazing peel and an amazing play so far coming out of BT in this engagement. 3-0 they say before they decide to walk out.
This is the Guardian. Three kills here. Drago full health coming into the team fight. I'm not sure if he was even there to begin with. Coming from the side lane, from the side jungle coming in and coming full health, full mana. So it was a 4v5 there, and this objective might be free. Prime Guardian, first Guardian going down to Team BT. BTs, they are in the lead here.
Dude, and it is so dominant. They got that lead earlier on in response to having 2 people fall early within the dual lane, but they came back with emotes, and along with that emote came a lot of confidence, and they have seized the momentum ever since then. It has been now 9 minutes since Top 10 has been able to secure a kill on this team, and within that time period, it has been Bad Timing who has secured 12, making their way back onto the scene and making themselves very well known. They're going to be rotating here towards the middle, hopefully looking to get a tower while it is a bit low, but instead it's going to be the Drongo and BT Blood, Black Air Force Blood, as some of us like to call them, sitting in the bush middle, seeing if there's going to be a bit of a rotation. That tower very low, the littlest tickle able to take it, and it is going to be him increasing his CS there, getting a little bit of farm in between the team fights as he has a monumentous lead, and with it that mid lane is going to fall.
Yeah, right now the team for BT, the front lines making a really big impact and forcing the enemy team back, and meanwhile the casters, the ranger, the caster are able to get free poke, and right now the bounty 750 for Blub, 550 for Narek, and Crunch as well 750. This is very dominant game by these guys.
Yeah, man, and it's kind of exposing a lot of the weaknesses that when you take the advantage that this team not having a mage can give you and utilize it properly, that this team Bad Timing has and are willing to use against Top 10 here. They do have an extra carry, yes. We do know that
Drongo's gonna cut
break
out
through a health bar, yes. Drongo going to use a blink to try to create a little bit of space.
Bounty.
However, his health ever so low, but that bounty is going to be taken into the hands of Indeedia Boy as this team in Top 10 surges forth to collect the head of one member, breaking the time streak of no kills for them. It's going to be the Grux running into the side of the jungle. Crunch there, looking to create a little bit of space, a little bit of distance, but this team in Top 10 hoping to collect whatever they do have available.
Yeah, they're never catching Crunch.
But Crunch, dude, might as well be a NASCAR. Slap a couple tags on him, because that skedaddle key, when it chooses to hit it, he's gone and out. Lightning McQueen levels are fast. But as I was saying previously, this team in Top 10 is lacking something that with every carry you want very much so. If this team in Bad Timing initiates properly, and that's going to be peel and a lot of area control that normally a mage could offer. They don't have it, and you've been seeing Gideon, his ult has been huge. The Mako knockoff has been big in repositioning not only Sparrow but Shinbi in a lot of these initiations, and all while that is happening, it is Rampage and Crunch who are able to freely frontline and get across that damage, resulting in Drongo being able to clean up a lot.
And so we've seen this play last time we watched BT. It's a little strat that they've been cooking up. They leave the inhibs intentionally low. They leave the inhibs intentionally low before the big objective comes up. That way they go back, kill the inhibs, the Prime Guardian spawns, and the enemy team is forced to either, they have to make a tough decision, either go for the Guardian and try to get a seal, try to fight while your lanes are getting pushed by strong minions, or they stay back, defend those strong minions, and lose the Guardian. So a little kind of big brain play here from BT. But if they can get the inhibs again and force that Guardian pull. First spear is being pulled, and
it is
Top 10
hands down in favor of this team here.
Top 10 pushing it,
but to trade it is going to be Top 10 surging towards the middle and utilizing that double carry and the takedown potential that they have. Let's see if they're going to get a rotate as expected into that jungle, looking for any farm they can on the way out to put themselves back in the driver's seat. But it is going to be now 3 inhibs down for Top 10 as the 12-3 lead and the objective lead starts to build, and you can find yourself in a lot of these team fights, a lot of these objective picks almost drowning under an oppressive lead that Bad Timing now has.
Yeah, Crunch, while they got the mid inhib, Crunch was able to wrap around and take the portal and go ahead and just clean up all those inhibs down. And force those strong minions to start pushing the lanes while the Prime Guardian is going to spawn. So to make it a little bit difficult and make it easier for BT to secure an objective rather than kind of throwing up a coin toss and fighting in that Prime pit. So pretty good play, really good play there by BT. If it executes, if they're able to go back and safely get those inhibs, it's a really good play by them.
For sure there, man. And, you know, we're going to have the Prime Guardian up here in about another 40 seconds. So, timer is going to be ticking down, and it is going to be crazy. Now, on this crunch, looking for a little bit of fight, but as he goes to dash forward, Decker says, hey there, friend. Maybe we relax a little bit. So, a soft reset here as bad timing goes to surround the Prime pit.
Yep. Right now, it's 12-3, waiting for this Prime Guardian to spawn, getting some deep wards in, and maybe trying to get a poke or get a blink out of somebody on team top 10. But Prime Guardian 5 seconds here, getting a group up by BT, and the waves are starting to push in on left side and right side. This could be they either pull it or they hesitate and let the minions do their job.
Yes, indeed, and you know that you do have that advantage for that slow push, especially on the sidelines. However, mid inhib minions to mid inhib minions. So, yes, at least one less one you have to worry about, but that is going to be a charge in, resulting in a pullback. That's going to be Gravity Inductor, now activated there. Crunch isolated, but on the top is going to be the big Gideon ult, resulting in bad timing, freely allowed to mow through that health bar of Revenant. It is going to be Black Air Force Blob, who chooses the bounty hunter and says, hey, that bit of gold is coming home with me. A good pulling coming from the Gideon. A good ult from Decker in response will buy her a bit of time, but how much crunch is on your tail, and it can only be a matter of time before the scientist gets made into phosphorus 6 feet deep into the grave, and an ult coming from Rampage as they are going to go to push core. It is looking like as this objective, the ultimate one, core, is burned down, we may see this game one swinging in favor, in victory of bad timing, executing that lead and never letting it go as they take game one of the finals.
Wow, very dominant performance there by BT. Top 10 had the early pressure, getting those early lane kills, but when it started rotating into these team fights, the team fights were just heavily favored in Team BT, and I have to think it's not having that AoE damaging ability from the mid laner, who was top damage, 22,816 damage from the Gideon. Not having that presence as a caster in mid could be hurting top 10 here. So we'll see if they make the adjustment to put that caster, bring that caster out, rather get away from the ADCs and get the casters out. Played. It
is going to be plead. No break. Cue me, says Blub. No break. I'm looking to get into the next one, he says, as we do come to the close of that first game. And a lot of what that value of Gideon brings to a team is seen here. We've seen Rob King on this pick and absolutely run throughout competition on top 10. This is a very good character, and nearly second to the Howitzer, arguably one of the best mages within the game. However, forgoing that, instead allocating your resources for another carry, for quicker objective take, for quicker team fight damage, you give up a lot of that burst. You give up a lot of that control that a mage can bring to a team fight, even if it is just the space creation of a wide berth of damage that we've known Howitzer to do previously. I will say, at a phenomenal first game here out of bad timing, we were looking to see a little resilience, and we did see a little bit of that bite back coming from this team in top 10, but ultimately it just ended up not being enough there.
Yeah, and no breaks here. No swapping. We're gonna keep these same sides here. Now, the losing team has the option to either first or second pick. Top 10 wanting to go ahead and keep that first pick. So we'll see if they have another strat. This is a best of 5, so that could be just a little throwaway game, testing the waters to see if they can get away with it, getting a little early win. But they are going to be going with the first pick, and we'll see if they decide to play a caster mid or continue to rock the double ranger.
Yeah, man, it's all a matter of like adjusting within these series. That's why, unlike the Super Bowl, All these sports things are multiple games. You really get to see the flexibility of all of these teams and to change the game plan. I know that's something that Top 10 is very capable of, but now it's a matter of if it bad time can continue keeping their foot on the pedal. If they can finish the fight, finish the job, going up 2-0 here is almost back-breaking feeling, knowing now that you need to win 3 straight against a very good team and giving Blub and bad timing a lot of leeway to just relax and flex on. As Mifflin once said within the Smite Pro leagues, I would always prefer the second game. I always want game 2.
Yeah, game 2 is the one that you want to win, in my opinion, because if you're going down 0-2, having to win 3 games back to back to back, it makes it a lot tougher because any team can just adjust. But if you're behind and you're able to win that game 2, then it's an even playing field. It's the next 2 wins. So Gideon gotta be the first pick. Narek had a really good job on Gideon, had top damage, great ults, great pulls. They're gonna take that Gideon off the table.
Yeah, if you are going to be going that double carry comp, which I feel like they might pivot back to, you just can't have him on the field. You can't allow him to maintain for that long period of time. And
Crunch.
this game, though, it is going to be Crunch back on Indeed. A
Crunch
very strong pick for him.
Crunch has becoming a priority pick here from the teams in EU and NA. But interesting to see. We didn't see a lot of Crunch. But now he is becoming a priority pick. Bellica and Sparrow being picked up, getting that. No Gideon, it's all right. We're going with another caster, and Bellica is definitely no slouch, and great mid laner.
Yeah, especially with the change to that, now allowing you to scale off the magical damage as well as the missing mana can make this just an you're dead kind of made selection, but that can also be played within the support role if that is something that this team desires to do. Something that we did see within the last set that didn't go necessarily super well, but it is oddly enough now we are going to see the priority picks for top 10 pivoting over to tankier characters with Rampage and Muriel being locked in here as Sparrow and Belka have been lost.
I love this. Yeah, I love the Crunch, the great CCs, Muriel, best support ever, and then Rampage, easy to apply CCs with a stun, getting to the back line. So the front line for top 10 is looking really good. The BT going more for the damage route first, picking the top 10, and I think in my opinion has won the top 3 picks as of right now with those 3 picks.
Indeed, and we're going to see a response pick with Grux and Mako. Mako been pivotal in every game that we've seen him in. That space creation, the healing, even at the cost of his own health, still big in those team fights. But on the other side, it's going to be Drongo and Murdoch locked in. Once again, it is going to be the double carry. It is going to be the double carry there, man.
Yeah.
40. And we got it back. This team hopefully looking for a little bit more appeal or some more objective CC to lock down their targets.
Yeah, so
this Rampage.
So going back with the double ADCs, instead of going with the Shinbi, who takes a little while to get to late game, we have a Rampage who can help you early, mid, and even late game. So you have that early pressure to help your ADCs get to late game a little bit quicker and easier. So we can see if this might be the key for their double ADC. And Greystone, a character that we have not seen, who's been talked about being the number 1, tank in the game, just able to absorb so much. Greystone being picked up and having that, he did get nerfed, and it was definitely a hard hitting nerf. But what makes Greystone so amazing is that passive. Every 4 or 5 seconds, it depends on how much cooldown we get, he can block an auto. So having these Rangers, jumping at Greystone and autoing Greystone, him keeping him alive, and if he does die, he comes back with a good amount of health. So this is the first time we've seen Greystone in the tournament on stream. So it'll be interesting to see if he is still a top tank, a top solo laner, or if he is just he's not good and he is completely bad. He got nerfed.
So as a lot of what we have seen in this game has been kind of pivotal and dictated on the control of the field, the CC that can be applied and how well it can be executed. I would like to say with this team in top 10 going double carry again, this time they do at least have another 3 stuns on their roster, and even more so, a Muriel to back them up for when they inevitably are dived by this Grux, by this Greystone, by when BT and them utilize that inner fire, Burning Bright. But one thing not to be slept on here is the fact that it is Blub on this Sparrow. And Sippy, an absolutely phenomenal player in this game who does not often miss, but Blub put on an absolute clinic last game, so giving him a step up in my consideration of a carry is going to lend a lot of influence to what he's going to be able to do in the late game here. As we enter the laning phase of game 2, it's going to be bad timing versus top 10. Is this going to be the neck on the throat, but not yet the execution for bad timing, or a breath of life coming from top 10, looking to even up 1-1? We will see.
Yeah, the Sparrow pick from BT we saw against the Poon Slayers, the EU team. They were being dominated the entire game, but once Sparrow was able to get online, BT Blood was able to just almost single-handedly bring the team back and win that game for them. So him back on the Sparrow with the drip right now. This is gonna be interesting to see if he can carry it.
Feathers. Oh my god!
I'm honestly not that big of a fan of this skin. I like the I don't know if he did the rank skin. Yeah, the rank skin is definitely
the rank skin. They gave that
it's
to
still
everybody,
clean.
Didn't they?
They did,
it
but
is still clean.
It's a pretty clean skin.
It is a nice one, but hey, this gives me those Purple Rain Prince vibes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big connoisseur of the skins for that character that I don't play at all. However, it is gonna be indeed showing a little bit of face in the mid lane on his crunch, as Bellica is going to be able to just CS, although close to her tower. It is going to be a minor invade in favor here of top 10 before they continue to rotate in deeper. It does look like a full dive here. Crux is going to be a little bit late on this rotation. If this team in Crunch does have the smite, it does look like it might be a bit of a 50-50. It's going to be a knockback as they look to drag it across, and it is going to be a thank you so much dearly for doing that for me, but it will not be free as Rampage is going to rotate over, so they are not going to take that team fight, but it is going to be Plead maintaining his ability to farm within his jungle, staking his claim. That's Grux's territory right there, and Indeed is going to have to go home empty-handed.
Yeah, same play. Indeed has been doing this pretty much every game. Clears the jungle, rotates mid to see if he can get anything, doesn't, goes into get the 3 camps, and oh, I don't see your jungler. He hasn't made a rotation. Let me see if I can get that invade, and I get that objective, that buff invade. So multiple times, I'm surprised we haven't seen them counter it early yet. We did see the Rampage rotate over, but we didn't see the Greystone making that rotation to help defend that blue buff. But Crunch able to secure the blue buff, so that's good. Not gonna put him behind that early on in the game.
Yes, indeed. And so if you are going to be top 10 within this instance, you're playing on the back foot, things aren't going quite how you want early on, you know, you're a very aggressive team, you like to get those kills early, and right now it's 0-0, sub 5 minutes, yes, but that normally doesn't mean anything to you. What is the pathing to victory you're hoping to find? And then I'm going to counter you out with the pathing of victory that is more than likely going to be what BT is looking at. The
pathing to victory for top 10?
For top 10 for you, and then I'll on the other side do what I'm hoping to see here out of that time.
It's really easy. It's get a late game, let the carries go pew pew, and then that's it.
It is, right? What's your pathing to victory, Batman? I'm gonna left click, and I'm gonna left click a little bit more, and then I'm gonna skedaddle out of the jungle, says Crunch, seeing things are not in his favor. You have to give it to bad timing right now. They are showing face. Anytime Indeed hits the jungle, anytime Indeed hits their side, they are slip and sliding through into that jungle to put up a defense. Very aware of what seems like just a little bit of farm now. It's a lot within the grand scheme,
blink.
but it is a blink and then a how about you don't, a knockaway coming out of the Mako here. But if I am top 10, my pathing to victory here has to be hands down. We need to lock down every single objective. We got dual carry. Our objective shed has the potential to be extremely fast. We need every single one showing in force, showing its 5, and then a rotation off of it onto a tower. Now, normally this is counterintuitive to what we normally see out of top 10 because they are very big on getting these picks. You know, a pick in your enemy side jungle, let's fall back on the spirit. A pick in the mid lane, now we're rotating over onto the prime pit. However, with the composition of Sparrow, who's usually low mobility, it's not as easy as it seems when you have the Mako there, the ability to knock back, the ability to help her sustain and heal, so you're not able to dive her as easily within your lane whenever she does get low throughout that laning phase. So if I'm going to be this team in top 10, I have to be going all in to lock down every single objective, because at this point I have an understanding it is likely that Blub is going to get his. Now we just got to get ours, and as a team, just win out in the late game.
Yeah, and for the win condition here for BT, it's looking at the team comp. There's only really 2 characters that provide really good CC. Grayson is not known for having CC. He's mainly just a meat shield. So only the Bellica and Grux here with the combo CCs.
And ult, the Spirit's Fang is going to be procced off. That's going to be a health pot that is going to go off, but it is not going to be enough. First Blood is going to go over to plead, begging please for another, as it is going to be a knock-up in the mid lane. A surging forward onto the Murdochs, the knockback up, and it's the Mako, put it on a show. I cast gun, says the Bellica, as she puts down her commander-in-chief. Look at me, I am the captain now, because it is bad timing rotating onto Spirit.
Great plays. As I was saying, the really main CC that they have is going to be the Grux and Bellica, but on Q, Grux able to get the pull, the stun, Bellica with the knockup, and able to clean up the target, and making an easy rotation here for the Wind Spirit. We do have Crunch coming in. Can he get the steal? 1200 HP left. He's waiting. DPS stopped.
Very big one. You know they're going to go in for the pull here. Is that going to be a steal? It is not. It's going to go over in favor of bad timing, as they also are going to collect the life here of Indeed Boy, TTV, unseen, sent to the great screen, and a little bit of love from Blub, as the Black Air Force is going to be applying pressure and keeping this team in top 10, not at bay, but now firmly behind, as the 3-0 lead, 1 objective up, does go over to bad time.
3-0 first. Oh, we didn't even get to see. Oh, it's the Wind Spirit. No
good with the Sparrow on the enemy team top 10. That is an ill omen. That is an ill omen for sure.
The Muriel, yeah. Keep it away from the Muriel. That was one thing too that we didn't mention, or that I didn't mention about the wind mechanic is, you know, getting late game let the ADC do the damage, but also Muriel is late game Muriel with the shields, the low cooldowns. It's gonna be really hard to kill these backliners and tanks with Muriel being alive.
But the biggest part of that is going to be this team in top 10 just getting there, and they're going to have to show us, the viewers, the casters themselves, everybody watching, that they can make it there. As, don't do it to them, please, in the name of God. All right, the tower, 6th man of the year, holds up strong yet again, as the little Mako, the little cheeky nut from across the way, is going to not connect, allowing this team to back and hopefully get a bit of a power creep. One thing to note of here, seeing that the Murdoch is taken mid, we know that he has a little bit of self-peel, right? Just a bit. He has that knockback on the shotgun blow. However, to counter that, the Grux mispositioning you with the pool is only half of the equation. Bellica doesn't need to be close to you to hit you up with the knockup, and it also carries momentum when she's coming out of sprint mode. If she's able to connect that, you have basically no response but to be stunned and take the damage that is going to be following up on the backside of it. So Sippy Styles is now forced to play an incredibly safe game here, coming to the conclusion that his knockup is basically all for naught, as it is going to be now bad timing, grouping up on the prime guardling over into the side lane. Over just a few feet away though is going to be the Rampage, getting in a little bit of a scuffle with the Greystone, drawing attention, preventing the rotation is going to be he who wields the sword. Rampage now forced to back, and top 10 forced to come to the facts of reality that this team and bad timing gets firmly in the driving seat.
Yeah, and knowing top 10 and you've seen these guys play multiple times, them picking what's essentially a late game team comp, allowing the enemy team to to be the aggressors, force the objectives, and it's not like their play style. But we'll see.
Very much so out of their element.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. It'd be nice to see, or interesting to see, if they have a different style where it comes to, we're gonna let them have everything, but when it gets to like that 20, 25, 30-minute mark, that's when we're kind of gonna kick it overdrive. And right now, BT is doing a great job of just putting the pressure, getting the objectives. We got 2 objectives, getting some invades, winning the kill trade, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it gets to that stage of the game where we see if the team comp that top 10 continuously goes to, if it's going to be effective.
Yeah, and we said it before. It's about getting there. 11 minutes in, though, 3-0, an objective or 2 down. And by an objective or 2, I mean a firm 2 objective downs. Makes that journey feel so much longer. Every single last hit you get, you feel like you need just a bit more. Maybe I just lean a bit more. Oh, now there's a rotation onto the team fight for this objective. Oh, they got it. Because we're all just so far behind. And at this high level of play, it comes down to the same question. Do you take the disadvantaged team fight and hope for mechanically you outplay the enemy team, or do you let them continue extending the lead that they have built by getting the free CS, by getting the free invades, by getting the free objectives? And it looks like we may get an answer here soon, as it is going to be Prime Spirit, the Wind Spirit, spawning here in just about 20 seconds.
Yeah, Grek's still holding on to that. Wait, I'm sorry, where is the underling at? Who has it? Did they use the underling?
I don't think they've actually burned their underling yet.
Who has it? Oh, Greystone has it.
Greystone has it.
No, he doesn't have it.
Did underling just run out?
Did we miss underling?
It could not have been. Well, actually, we must have that right, and it was taking damage. So they did.
Oh, okay, so they dropped it on right side. Missed that one.
From what I have to assume there. However, the pressure that teams have been maintaining on all the other lanes was barely a forethought. However, as it is going to be a jump in onto the team with bad timing here. Top 10 here. This time looking for the smoke, but receiving back from the side, and it is going to be inner fire, burning bright and melting through the health bar of top 10 in the rampage here. One will fall, and it is going to be bad time.
He gets out.
Surge forward, but barely surviving is going to be a member of this team as they do make their way back here to take the Wind Spirit. Mechanical, methodical. It's bad timing, like the ticking of a top. It's only a moment before you are reunited with that countdown timer at the gray screen, and they locked themselves in for another Spirit play, uncontested.
2 spirits down, 1 tower remaining in mid. BT is doing a really good job of just keeping that pressure up. We do see a little grouping here. I don't know if we're going to be seeing a grouping for mid yet. And getting this tower. Greystone is here, still has ult available. So do they look to group in and push? They're just going to get the waves pushed in and back and spend some money, regroup, and we'll look to see if they push down this mid tower.
Indeed, indeed. And can we take a moment to look at the CS here for these carries? 112 on Sippy, 110 on Drongo. Across the way, though, it's going to be 107 on BT Blup. So you can see both of these teams, the CS game, still relatively close, still pretty close here, neck and neck almost. However, if you look over into the jungle, 0-2 currently for Indeed Ya Boy, while Plead 1-0-3. That is a 4-piece 100% kill participation here coming out of Bad Timing's jungle, and a Spirit Fang build as he makes his way onto another physical defense item for this double carry composition that top 10 is bringing us in game 2.
Yeah, only being 4 kills, so they're still able to get their farm online, and the junglers are both level 10, so that's ultimately the more important part there, is being on par with your jungler or ahead, because that how the smite mechanic works. The higher the level you are, the more smite damage you can do to the objective. So when it comes to the objective team fights, both right now have an even 50-50 chance of getting that smite off and securing the objective. But we do have a lot of bounties here for Blub, Cranky, and Narek in the mid lane here.
304 and then a 350 piece as This team in top 10 are basically just trying to crawl to this late game, depending on that this comp can make it come through at the late end. However, it is going to be that late game versus the mechanics of bad timing. And from what we've seen of them this far, bad timing's mechanics have been damn near impeccable. Their play calling fast and efficient, allowing them to build out this incremental lead with first a kill, then another, then a objective, and then the other objective, and then the right tower with guard, and then a little bit of damage onto that inhibitor. It is methodical and immediate, but aggressive and controlling. Not the seat you want to be in. As you see over to the right side jungle, it's an invade here coming out of the boys in bad timing, looking to clear a bit of a jungle, but make their presence at least very well known.
So right now we have Cranky on the right side, just all the way up pretty much by inhib, just kind of keeping a little distraction while mid gets pushed here. Easy mid pressure here from the BT players. Crunch trying to look for a play there, but is going to be knocked back out. And let me go back and get his jungle. But yeah, going back on your point, BT is playing really well. Their team fights have been top of the game right now. The shot calling, the rotating and setting up for objectives, getting in the right position. Their mechanics and team fight have been really good for Team BT.
Completely agree here. We are going to see a bit of a grouping, a bit of a defense over here off to the right side coming from this rampage. However, it does look like this team was starting to run towards prime. The question becomes, is bad timing going for an immediate prime? Take moments after spawn. Everybody can heal the yell. The screech, the invitation of the guard link. Coming down.
It despawns in 5 seconds. It despawns. Can it get it in 5 seconds?
Is this going to be a quick?
They got it.
Within a second of error, this team in bad timing zooms in and takes it for what you think. At least
that was good timing by them.
You can't. Oh, you did not, Gordon.
That was really good timing by bad timing.
Oh my goodness.
They're not living up to their team name.
Bad time for top 10 right now, as you do not expect for this team comp to just swoop in and take it so immediately. The play calling for that to happen has to be absolutely impeccable for this to go through.
All right, next objective. We got 25 seconds here on the Prime Spirit. Got to be number 3. We do. Oh, is this a play? They're de-warding. I don't. Okay, I thought maybe we might see a little push here for the Prime Guardian, but they're grouping around here.
And they are going to be making their way, Sippy style and everybody, over into this right lane, possibly looking for a pick, looking for anything, looking for a life raft in the sea of advantage right now. The bad timing is able to maintain. Cutting their way throughout the wind, Spirit. This is a tough one to have let go. It is going to be off in the distance. Crutch on Indeed, your boy. Rotating over. Bad timing.
He's gonna get sandwiched here.
Sandwiching him indeed, but it will be the jettison out. Clearing the space and not a drop coming out of the side, but a big pull in coming from this Grux, but it will miss as the Spirit Fangs do get traded. Rampage looking to engage and sit.
See you later.
Cinder. Gamer, it was good talking to you. As this team, as these lads, as these gamers in bad timing are starting to run through the opposition here in top 10 in round 2 of the Cordy Cup here. A dominant performance thus far. 5-0, not too big on kills, but huge in map control indeed, knowing he had to go for it. His team needs some semblance in life. We're going to see the steroid more than likely activated here as this mural is going to be melted through arrow after arrow like a stake in the heart of the robot, looking for the deep boot, send the mural to the scrapyard, but it will be no for life. Spirit Fang over to the right side, but the landing of the ETA will have Murdoch collect the first kill here for top 10, as it is going to be the Grux who falls, but not for the Freezies, as Sippy Styles is put down by the Black Air Force Blood on the Sparrow. The inner fire not needing a burn to completely melt through that health bar. It is going to be a 1-3 trade, 8-1, 20 minutes into this game. 3 win spirits for the bad timers.
That was that had to be the most satisfying Mako ult I've seen so far. That was full on length of the Mako ult, taking the huge rampage with them. That was just the best Mako ult I've seen. It's very nice Mako ult there. Spirit
That was
going. Yeah, that was awesome.
that was so funny. That was so fun, especially as you can see as Rampage him revving it up, right? You can see he's charging that bad boy. I don't know if he was maybe going for the over, but I mean, it was like an Amazon package. Return to Cinder Prime delivery today. Here you go. You can hold that. Meanwhile, 12 feet to the left is going to be this team at bad timing taking the Prime. A bit of a back and forth interaction, an encounter, a conflict there, but resulting ultimately in favor by 2 of bad timing, increasing that lead. A trade that I'm sure they're happy to make, but more than likely would like to play a bit cleaner to make sure it doesn't happen next time. Because as much as we would like to see this go up to 5 games, I know for a fact that this team and bad timing are hoping to end it in 3.
Yeah, then while we got a little lull in the action, we're waiting for the next Spirit to spawn, unless we can get picks here for the Prime Guardian. But looking at it, we do have a leveled advantage on the junglers, so Indeed doing a really good job. Even though he's getting invaded, even though they're losing the team fights, he's still finding ways to farm. So level 13 for Indeed. When it does come to that 50-50, if he has the higher chance of getting that secure in. As far as the carries go, still kind of caught up there. Level 12 to level 13, 158 farm, a little bit more CS from Sippy and Drongo over Blub. They are winning the kills, but still they're doing a great job of just being in the team or being in the game. It hasn't been complete one stop. It's not. They're losing the team fights, but they're still in it. And as I say that,
and
the Bush
as
rookies.
they're still in it, it is going to be this team in bad timing pulling them out. Murdoch, Sippy, put down efficiently and quickly, and it is going to be an ult here coming from Plea, but a knockup followed by the proccing of the Spirit Fang, trading the Spirit's Fang. Go to your local dentist because those fangs are doing the damage. You might have a hang tooth, but on the back line is going to be Rampage looking to engage, but cleared off by the Greystone, as it is once again going to be bad timing, getting a couple picks and then getting what seems to be the Prime Guardian here. No Guardling left anymore. Blub looking at the Guardian, feeling it's pretty weak as he continues to melt through. Not a chance of a steal here unless top 10 gets an absolute miracle, but there will not be one inside as they are starting to put up the defense. And BT Blub, the Black Air Force Blob himself, the steamroll through, is going to secure the Prime Guardian in favor here of bad timing.
Yeah, this is it. Unfortunate picks there, waiting in the bush. Murdoch kind of just wandering around in the jungle thinking it's safe, but no, it's not. There's people waiting in the bush to kill you. Getting one pick there, going back and getting mid and getting the pick on Indeed, picking out the chance that the lead that Crunch had over the Grux there, taking that away to where making it an easy Guardian objective. And now we have the push here in the defense from top 10. Can they get that defense going?
For sure, as it is going to be them setting up here what cannot be a soft defense. This has to be rock solid. This has to be a stand right here and now. The inhibitor's turned off deal to Prime, but it cannot go freely into the night, as it is going to be Greystone who hops in. A ult coming out of the Rampage as Crunch on the backline is looking to initiate, but not long, as he is melted through. Inner fire burning bright and lighting him up like a candle wick, says Black Air Force Blub, as he's going to run through, getting yet another, collecting like the IRS's Blub here within game 2. That's one inhibitor down, followed by another, soon to be possibly the core, as it looks like it is going to be bad timing, hoping to put the wick out on this game, rushing forward, surging, sending out invitations, because it's a party at the grade screen right now for top 10, as one by one they and the objectives and their towers fall into the court here of bad timing.
They do have the inhibs, half health on everybody here. Rai getting caught out. Mako is going to go down. Muriel trying to do a really good job of keeping the ADC alive. He is going to go down here, but Grayso just in the back.
You know, he has that second life, and you know, YOLO doesn't really apply to him, but he doesn't even have to burn it.
He doesn't need it. He does not die.
That health bar, you know, Cordy, what we call that. I told you yesterday, looking at that health bar. Not even close.
Not even.
Not even close. Is the health bar there of Greystone coming out of bad timing?
And so right now you have to think that top 10, you know, it's becoming almost really hard to win this game back. You think they're having the conversation, the double ADCs is not working. I really like their team comp besides the ADC in mid. If we can get an AoE caster in mid lane, these team fights will be a little bit better having that AoE ability and some CC presence.
And we brought that up at the end of last game too. It doesn't work as well without the Sparrow. They need it. The AoE comparability and damage that comes through on that ult is absolutely necessary. It feels and it seems and it appears from what we're seeing for this to work. However, with that Sparrow going over to Blub, it's just a bad time.
Yeah, so but it comes down to maybe top 10 has to, you know, ditch the strat. Last game number 3, it's either win or you go home. So they've tried it twice, hasn't worked. Ditch the strat and come up with something new. And I think they have to get that. Unfortunately, Sippy not wanting to do that caster, but I think we might have to see the caster in mid.
For sure, man, and that is going to be an ult now coming out of the rampage. One will melt, and it will be indeed your boy as he lays his indeed oh so very sleepy head to rest. The great screen is getting new members by the day, and it is going to be here. A pull in from the Grux, followed by the immediate death of Yes Siree, and the conclusion here of what must be game 2 in favor. Bad timing, up 2-0 against top 10.
All right, GG's. Game number 2 in the books. One final game to go. An uphill battle for top 10. We'll see if these guys want to take a little break. Maybe take a little break, get away from the keyboards, relieve a little frustration.
I'm looking to see possibly a Wukong pick.
Yeah, we haven't seen Wukong. Wukong definitely dominates the non-coms, the casuals, the ranks who can't communicate really well. In competitive play, I feel like Wukong is because Wukong, his kit, the idea of Wukong is I'm not going to help you at all during the game. All I'm doing is either going to solo an objective, which you can't do that well anymore on the Prime Guardian, or I'm just going to split push and get the towers and inhibs. So in a 5v5 setting with communication, there's already a lot of aggression going for the objectives. It would be even more aggression on the 4v5, knowing that they're not going to have that fifth person, Wukong, to come help out. So
that's true.
If we do see Wukong, well, yeah, I don't know.
I would like to see Wukong because my counter pitch, not necessarily like, counter argument, but my counter pitch for Wukong is he demands you send somebody. Mm-hmm. And if you are going to buckle down, we are going double carry. Forcing this to be a 4v4 is a lot more favorable when you have, 2 carries in your support lined up against, with your, let's say, solo. 2 carries, your support lined up with your jungle, and your solo is off split pushing, and it is forcing one of those tanks to go cover that split push. It is forcing one of the damage dealers to go clear that wave. As well as that, here in competitive 5v5, one thing we see a lot of is a lot of invading the jungle to apply pressure. Once a lead has been built, there's no one that does it faster than the Wukong who is able to get in there. Listen, I may be based right now. I may be based and extremely biased right now as a Wukong player. I don't really talk to people in my comp games, but I do think he has merits, but they are a lot harder to pull off, and you're basically depending on the enemy team making the choice of ripping someone from a team fight, especially if you're going to be going double carry, like it looks like they are now.
Yeah, and like I said, I wasn't too sold that the Gideon was going to be mid and would have a mid caster, but it is going to be Rom King in the solo lane. So we have 3 damage dealers, 1 frontliner, and going to be Indeed, and we have a Decker to help support that CC. So
we called the Rom King Gideon solo, I see.
And on the other side, we have CCs. We have Rampage, we got Maka, we got Crunch, we got Belica knockup. So Yeah, this will be interesting to see if Rom King could be the factor here, going into a damage role, getting into the caster Gideon, and see if he can help with these team fights.
And that's something that I'm very much so looking forward to seeing within my games here, within our game here, within the game 3 of the bit of what I'm calling the Cordy Cup. We got bad timing, ferocious dominance here within the first 2 games. Looking to end this game, looking to put that nail in the coffin of game 3. Wow, top 10. Look to peel it open and get a gasp of air, of life, as they are early game going to be grouped as 5. It might be a possible invade as they make their way throughout the jungle. We haven't seen this too frequently, but we do know it is something that is quite possible if your team prioritizes it. But it won't be easy because these boys in bad timing, let me tell you, they've been playing up to a T, and to throw them off the rhythm, it's going to take a lot of coordinated, mechanically sound play out of top 10. Very much so looking forward to it. Game 3, top 10 versus bad timing. Let's see if it ends here or they get it extended to a game 4.
Yeah, they are full committing here. I thought they were just going to group up and try to get a pick, but they're full committing. They're just going to run down Pleat here. They're going to 5v1 Pleat here, kill him, take his camp. They are going to miss a lot of farm here, but they are just throwing the playbook out of here, out of the game.
Yeah. They're hitting him with the get him as he is going to get the pull forward, followed by the oh my god, the magic trick that we all expected. Indeed, your boy. The team forfeiting a bit of gold, but putting their jungler ahead, and we've seen that to be key in every single game that they've been victorious in. As Indeed gets fed, they get ahead and they steamroll from that point out. So, at instance 1, he's going to be stealing farm out. However, knowing that the team is completely over there, and poor Pleat, not having had seen it coming, is going to be starting now over on his blue, basically a full level behind, as his jungle is going to be cleared out, and the team in top 10 is going to be dewarding the left side red.
Yeah, and we have it. They made a little. They got the invade. Indeed, able to get even more here. Able to get the objective, getting level 2. And able to clear this camp and see how they react here for bad timing. I feel like, bad timing, it's they're probably maybe lapping it off. It's not gonna be a game breaker and shoot their mental here. They're just lapping it off, and we'll see if they can look to get an invade or keep the pressure on.
Indeed, and it is going to be over here. Grux now backing off towards his blue buff, is going to be taking that and now rotating back out of his jungle. Is going to be the Rampage once again mid lane. A little bit of a scuffle here between the Bellica as well as Gideon. Clear on both sides, pretty good. However, it is going to still be a relatively quiet game so far, as both teams, after an unexpected, maybe a bit absurd 5-man invade, is going to be a quiet start with Gideon now teleporting back. No ganks outside of the first here with the first 4 minutes of the game. 1-0 favor top 10.
Yeah, and we are seeing the Rom King in mid here. Yeah, I mean, we can't really isolate how the team wants to play, but we'll see if the enemy team, BT is a great team. They could definitely work with the change here.
Indeed, it is going to now apparently be a crunch, ganking over far to that right side. Health bar is getting ever so low. Is this going to be return kill in the duo? Rampage smothering the Murdoch as the distance of Sippy style, the knockback may not be enough. It is going to be crunch. Now retreating a bit outwards, damage translating over. The autos coming through. It is going to be Plead on the disengage here. However, it is going to be Murdoch in hot pursuit at the mid lane. Grux closing the distance. Autos coming across deep mid ever so low, and a rock wipes out another member of bad timing here as the lead goes 2-0. Favorite top 10.
Bless you. So right now, 4-0, the little invade there. The little 5-man invade. Played currently level 3. Indeed, is going to be level 5. Spirit is going to be up. We do see wards going around, but no rotation yet from the team.
For sure, and we are going to see Grux possibly looking to get a little bit of an invade going over there, as it is going to be Rampage Plead looking to compensate here with a bit of farm. A failed gank twice now, resulting in no lead, so he's going to try to extend it, securing his CS within his side of the jungle, which luckily has not been heavily invaded, at least at this stint of the game. Dual lane Crunch definitely having a more difficult time here going up against Sippy, as that damage does get translated across, and he is going to get chunked. Sippy now within that solo lane, just at about maybe a 6 of his total health, and we have here Cordy, the Hawk Deer, Fire Spirit.
Man, it's the first time we had a fire
buff. Fire Spirit, always making for an interesting game, as it is going to be indeed your boy looking to secure it with the first objective before bouncing back into the lane.
Yeah, it's the first time that we are seeing a Fire Spirit giving you 5% magical and physical power. We're seeing a lot of Wind Spirits and Earth Spirits, but finally getting one that the damage dealers do love. And they have 3 damage dealers.
Yeah, and one of them is Gid, and another is Sparrow. 2 people you don't want to see with that little bit of extra damage, with that little bit of heat in their step, some would say. However, we do have a Grudge rotation, but a very smart Narek is going to be floating left. A knockup is going to miss. However, that is going to be a big ult from Gideon as well as Rush. The double CC and the blink is going to be forced out, as this team in Wrong King is going to disengage out of the middle lane here. A lot of resources expended, but an even bigger one expended now out of the Bellica, knowing that they are not safe without that blink. This team in top 10 hopefully looking to make a statement here within game 3, hoping to give us a game 4, but they have a long way to go to climb up to seize that certain victory. And one thing that we have definitely seen out of this team in bad timing is no matter what comp you're playing, no matter where you're laning, no matter what kills you got early, they're looking to extend it to the late game, and they're looking to extend the lead, because this team in bad timing believes they can win. So it's all going to come down to whether or not they can execute.
Yeah, and that gank right there, unfortunately, hold on, we got a little rotation here by Fleet on the Rampage. Very low health bar. Great stun there. Can we get the rock?
Over the
Decker
top,
eating the sun.
Being absorbed for Decker, eating a little bit of stone for the carry there, as they are going to be able to now retreat a lot more safely in the side lanes. It's going to be a large grouping. 4 out of the 5 players here. 4 bad timing grouping up onto the side, but it is now going to be a disengage, a rotate back to the mid. A lot of farm being missed here, possibly by the Bellica, but those are super minions, so they are going to be able to sustain a little bit longer, a little bit harder, a little bit faster. So that gold nonetheless is going to be getting collected. Gideon now looking to apply the pressure to the mid lane, but coming from the right is going to be Crunch, making his way throughout the jungle, more than likely putting himself down a counter ward, but it's actually going to be a commit onto the prime guard lane, as these 2 members
They're going to drop it.
Bad timing are going to drop it in favor now of getting a read on where this Murdoch is, understanding that he has a bit of a lead, but they play a game of ring around the rosy. It is going to now be 5 members of this team making their way over to the
Bellica getting collapsed on. Oh, almost getting
absolutely out, but not quite getting Sippy Styles, as the commander-in-chief tells the supporter to step it down. Bellica sent to the gray screen, a 3rd kill in favor top 10.
Yeah, leading up to that part, Bellica, unfortunately, whenever Grux was making that rotation, missed the dock up, so unfortunately we do have Blub here. He's gonna get sniped.
And
good snipe by Sippy.
Down. It is now Sippy here, who, to my knowledge, I think has a 2-0 or possibly a 3-0 lead. The last thing you're going to want to see, man, if you're in this crunch in solo lane, all of us very aware of the pain, I at least expect so to some degree, of playing melee into range, especially when that range has a shotgun full of get the hell off of me. And that is going to be the Murdoch being able to apply pressure almost freely here within the solo lane. But it is going to be a rotation coming from the Decker. Good sign and an even better cage. We know that she does not have the getaway, so it is going to be an ult over the top, but the Gideon is going to miss, and she is going to be skedaddling away ever so lower. It is going to be now a jump in from the crunch. The damage is going to proc off, but this Grux does not know he is dropping into 2, but he is being pulled by 1. The only one, the master of the universe, the cosmos, is going to be Gideon. As Fire Burning Bright looks to melt to the last bit of health over here for bad timing as they look to secure another kill coming out of top 10. But this team is standing strong here. They are going to turn, collapsing, looking to take a life of one more. It's going to be Black Air Force Blood, now very low, now in the corner. It is only a matter of time before that kill does find its way over to Rom King. This team, top 10, surging forward here in game 3.
The stars shall return.
I'm not sure if that early invade is going to be causing an issue, but I will say though, having a caster on the team definitely is filling that void.
Absolutely. It's just a syndicate of what a monumental difference that when you see the other team has the strat, they haven't understood, just changing the placement, not even the complete comp of your team, can just so vastly impact what and how a team is able to play. And honestly, it's absolutely phenomenal being able to see it getting executed here. Gideon getting his shine as with a 5-0 lead. It is going to be this team in top 10 looking to secure themselves another Fire Spirit 5,000 quickly to hit 4, and just in a moment we are going to see it at 2, well within smite range, is approaching the Fire Spirit, as without a defense it is going to fall into the palms of this team in top 10.
Burning it pretty quickly. We did see a little rotation from BT going for the objective, but they decided to fall back and didn't think they could burn it quickly enough. We do have a pick here on the left side. Rai able to get the kill on Drongo.
Is going to be a softer reset as we take a moment to look at some of these people's builds here to see where we are sitting as far as the CS line goes, and that is going to be Rom King now completing his gym for anything else. I've talked with him before and he firmly believes on the Gideon, your job is to double blink and ult, setting up those victorious plays for your team. With the lead that he's accrued, he is now able to get that online pretty fast, and that starting gym does have some generally good stats on it, but the best one being that reduced blink time, not to put a knock on the power, the 85 power that you're going to be getting out of it, the 110 health, but also the 13 mana regen key upon defeating a Tion, something that you're going to be doing easily, reimbursing yourself here on the Gideon.
Yeah, mana regen is definitely an issue here. Also going into the Kima energy reflux, getting a little bit more mana as you use abilities on the characters. Now going over this team comp, and we have the triple damage. It's working early game, but when it typically comes to late game, we'll see if it continues to hold up. Not having any kind of front line, the only front line being Grux, and if Grux is going in, and if they could, kill the Grux really quickly, then there's no front line. I think the CCs and the combos from Team BT is really, really good. But we'll see if they can get to that point. Right now, it's very dominant here by top 10.
I have to agree with you there, man. It is still a matter of if they can get there, and it's that every game. However, as far as not letting yourself get too far behind, as far as the kill ratio goes, you do have a Mako, amazing peel, amazing sustain and healing, and an ult that can change the sway of a team fight if landed and loaded up properly. But it is now going to be most of these towers, and by most I mean all, the inhibitors, the last one standing of the siege and the onslaught that top 10 is bringing to this game here in game 3, looking to give us a game 4, a change of character here, utilizing the mage and the power that can come alongside that Gideon. As off in the far lane is going to be Crunch now pushing up out of that lane. Neither of the buffs, nor Spirit or Prime, coming up anytime relatively quickly, so we are relegated in this moment to the casual CS grind, the building of the incremental advantage, the XP, the gold, to help get you to a point of the game where if you're top 10, you can take over. If you're BT, you can come back and put yourself back in that driver's seat.
And we have seen it from BT before. They were pushed back by Boonslayers, and they had some really late game team fights that gave them the advantage and were able to take the outcome here. But as far as team comp goes, again, the CCs that Team BT has are far better than what Top 10 has right now. Just a little farming, not much going on. Getting a little setup for Spirit coming up in about a minute. Getting some wards out. I do want to point out, like, the Decker, we haven't really seen a lot of Deckers, with a lot of Mako and Muriel being banned and Mako being picked. I think Decker might be a little underrated here. I'm missing the teleport, unfortunately.
Oh no, dude. Decker, my opinion, hands down, second best support. If your gameplay is going to be the snowball, that is going to be an ult for life, and that is going to immediately be the caster curse laid upon the head. No, not the head, the tombstone of the Decker, and I will write upon it that it was Cordy who did it to you, as she is now relegated not to the farming, not to the CS, but instead to the gray screen for at least another 10 seconds. I personally really enjoy Decker as a support. The long range stun is nice. The AoE space control, absolutely beautiful, but I don't think there's a single other character or support, I'll say, in the game who so easily attributes to an early game steamroll quite like a Decker does. She does it phenomenally, and she does it consistently. That CC, when that damage is starting to come online, allowing you to translate it across and constantly get it off. I wouldn't say effortlessly, but almost, as it is going to be Drongo picking head out and receiving a rocket, and very much so understanding the risk he is in. That is going to be a jump out, followed up by
he used a lot.
Leaving now, Rom King getting melted through. That is going to be the bounty now. The Gideon going to the pocket, and it is going to be Rampage living just oh so very barely as the chaos of the team fight takes suit. It is going to be a double kill.
Oh, the double knockup.
It's killed by the Bird Hunter, and Top 10 one by one begin to fall. Retreating now. It is going to be a blink coming from the Bellica. Ruda knock up a bomb, and she will say, get on the ground. Handcuffs behind the head. We're sending you to lock up the jail, the cellar, the gray screen, as it is now going to be the Bad Timing boys bringing it back, taking a fire of their own, taking back a little of the heat and the momentum, making this a real game. 6-5, 17 minutes in. Objectives still in favor of Top 10.
Like I said earlier, a couple of minutes ago, they have been in this position and they're able to come back, and with their team fight presence alone, their CCs, they have to be the best team fighting team in the tournament. They team fight so well. Rom King going in, getting blinking in or dashing in, getting ults. Unfortunately, not getting any targets, forcing a blink out. But when he landed down, he was in no man's land. He was behind the enemy line. There wasn't any backup from the enemy team, so they were able to clean him up pretty quickly. And Plead getting the massive heal from Vecron here. Plead was on a sliver of health, turned the corner, Mako tossed the Q at him and gave him a massive health bar. We say that, Muriel is really good at just dishing out, health bars. Mako doing a really good job there too, keeping Plead alive.
Just absolutely controlling that team fight, by the way. The knockbacks, the additional health, the setup that he was able to survive with, but also thrive through, made that team fight possible, it feels like, for this team in Bad Timing. Rampage, man, honestly, I'm buying you lunch. Tell me your address. You're getting a pizza for that save there on the back end of that team fight, because Plead was dead to rights. No, Plead was dead to lefts, guys. Every single instance of breath he breathed after that health bar being not even close belonged to that Mako play, and because of it, they were able to turn it around and keep the tempo, or at least reclaim the tempo, allowing themselves to now fire spirit and a few kills.
I was gonna say, like, after that little play there, getting the kills and getting the objective, it seems like it's an even game. Everything that's happened up until that point, everything that happened 17 minutes prior, the early invades, the kills, the objectives, I feel like we're at an even game here.
I have to completely agree with you, man. It's 50-50. Now it's a matter of, while within this pool of impossibility. Which team is going to peek their head up first, wrap their hands around the neck of the
Knock
other,
up.
and drown them back behind what seems to be a lead? And it is going to be the double blink Rom King. A staple. He comes from the sky. It's fallen. Somebody called Chicken Little, because it's not a piece of the sky. That's a Gideon ult, pulling you in and pulling that health bar way down, as it is now going to be the Prime Guardian on the menu for full rotation here of top 10.
Yeah, Rom King doing a really good job on the Gideon, getting that double blink. Didn't have blink the last time, but able to get a double blink in and catch out Belica not having the blink.
And that's why he upgrades it first every time. Now it looks like it might be this crunch here, trapped in a cage. Let me free, let me out, and he will not escape. The Rom King, the caster, is going to bring this game back into focus here for top 10. What was just a 1-kill lead now extended back to 4, but Black Air Force Blood may have something to say about it as he begins to rotate, but it is going to be a macro bomb coming around from the top ropes, as it is going to now be a call disengaging that Prime is not being acted upon.
Yeah, Prime Guardian.
Rom King is, in my opinion, as it sits, Cordy, Rom King is, in my opinion, absolutely the best Gideon in the game. This dude on Gideon, from what I have seen, is insane. His angles, his consistency, the damage he's able to get through, and the just instinct almost to know the right play that might cost him his life, but will get his carry a triple, will give the support enough room to breathe, to reset the team fight in their favor. It's almost impeccable, and I'm happy to see a bit of that here on display at the tallest stage.
Yeah, Gideon doesn't have the biggest damaging ults, but he does help provide that CC, keeping multiple players locked in and allowing your team to help follow up and land easier abilities. But yeah, right now we have a little grouping here for the next Fire Spirit. Guardian still not going to be pulled early until we have multiple players down. But right now, yeah, a little grouping here. A couple of seconds on the Fire Spirit.
That is going to be a little bit of that sitting gold over here to the side. A little bit of sitting gold here taken up by the crunch as that tower is going to follow rotation here. Coming out of Grux is going to come sit over. It's going to be the damage coming from the Murdoch, securing at least 1 kill here for top 10. As it is going to be Rampage continuing to frontline. A big Gideon ult once again over underneath the top, locking down the Rampage. That ult is going to fade now within the abyss of damage. The Ramp is going to drop in, follow up. Rom King collecting the kill, but then being collected himself by the Narek as this team is going to continue surging forward. The tide's very quickly turning as it is going to be now a double kill for Narek, as this team in bad time is looking to group and take down another Fire Spirit in their favor. That right there is going to be a 2-4 trade favor bad timing.
Yeah, Rom King unfortunately only ulting the Rampage there. So Rampage is kind of just taking the full ult there while the team is fighting around him. And Narek going off, getting a kill, blinking in, chasing the Grux and getting that, still using his ult. Belica's ult, man, is just really good and easy to hit. It's a lock on.
It's absolutely like phenomenal, super good, and well, not super good, super deadly whenever you're able to close the space to get it off. And at every implementation of it, you have to know as the caster that your life is on the line the more and more you use your abilities. I think that Belica is going to be major, pivotal, extremely vital to this team, locking in this win from bringing it back.
All right, right now we have a little posturing here. It's still an even game. It's crazy to think that massive momentum they had in the early game, getting that invade, having multiple levels off of the jungler. That one team fight just pretty much sealed up the game, and now we're kind of an even playing field here. Now it comes down to, can they kill the tanks fast enough with this triple damage team comp, or can the space created by the front line on BT allow the Ranger and Belica to delete these damage dealers off of BT a lot more quicker?
So it does look like here we do have a soft reset. Looking at the CS of these carries maybe here for just a bit, seeing where the Drongo could possibly be sitting in comparison to the double carry coming from top 10 here.
Yeah, right now we're just clearing out jungle. Have some wards up, nothing much going on. Again, the Guardian fights are scary to do. It's the layout of the map, being inside, having the lower, being in the pit is just scary to fight, and having the unpredictable Guardian either pulling you in a bad spot can definitely make misplays happen. So right now we're just kind of low posturing. We're not going to see a Guardian pull until we get multiple people down. Our next team fight is going to be around Spirit. It's going to be the third Fire Spirit. Scylla not available yet. 2 Spirits each for the teams.
Dude, oh my goodness. 2 fires on either side of this team here. The damage that is going to be coming through for both sides is going to be absolutely huge, absolutely phenomenal in a lot of these team fights. And you got to imagine here, Cordy, that it is going to make and break a lot of the team fights for not only the backliners but these tanks when you're playing Rampage.
Frankie in a little bad spot here. He's in the back line. They're getting collapsed on.
But it does look like he is going to create the space to be able to get out here, utilizing that double dash here.
Drago now in a bad spot. He's going to get collapsed on, and Drago's going to go down. Ult being used. A little overkill there, but
getting locked down, and a bit of a maybe overzealous ult coming there out of Rom on the Gid. However, it is going to be Bluff who is going to fall in a 1-0 trade there so far, as they are now rotating on to the Prime Guardian.
Rampage is not in the fight. He was on the other side of the map. Didn't have portal up. We have 6,000 left on this Guardian. This gonna be good. Crunch in the backline, getting ulted. 2,000, 1,000. I don't know who got it.
And it is going to go favor of.
It's not showing. Okay.
It is going to be indeed your boy who has successfully deleted the Prime Guardian, getting that damage across to the enemy team's towers here, as it is going to still be Bellica securing herself a double kill. Secondly, on to Rye, melting through this backline. Has this team does not look like they've had enough. Coming up from behind is going to be the Necker, the knock up, the bomb, and it is going to be not yet announced triple. How could the announcer know that Norello going absolutely, my apologies. Norello. I looked over to the comments and I saw Norello somewhere, and I like turned back and I almost said Nerona, but it is going to be Narek playing one of his best
on his name.
This Narek, the double K, playing an absolutely phenomenal game here on this Bellica.
Narek, big plays this entire tournament. He is definitely, in my opinion, been mid-gapping a lot of teams here. He's been dominant whenever he's playing the Howitzer. We've seen him play the Gideon. He's played really well. Now he's played a lot of Bellica and has just been on top of it with these casters. Narek doing a really good job of being a really good caster for Team BT. Currently right now 8, 3, and 4, 250 CS, 4 items deep. Going in for 1 fight item. Doesn't have any pin shred, but looking at the enemy team, there's 3 damage dealers. The tank, the lone tank is not gonna be as tanky, so opting to go into the rampaging total first. Maybe we'll see if he does need to get pinned, he'll get that later on. But Narek doing a really good job of just on this Bellica is amazing.
Oh, dude, Derek is playing a damn near perfect game here. The damage that he's been getting across to the enemy team here has put them on high alert. They have to focus and lock in wherever this Bellica is, wherever Derek is on the map, because at every inopportune moment, he has been there, getting a pick, hitting a knock-up, translating the damage across with the bomb. Derek playing absolutely insane here in game 3. You gotta give him his props where it's due, and everyone here should know and should see the type of performance that Narek is putting on. An absolute clinic on this Bellica game.
Yeah, he's been really dominant the entire tourney. So right now we have Guardians down. Spirit being picked up. Guardian was taken by top 10, but losing a lot of lives there. They're not able to capitalize on the inhibs being disabled. So right now we're back to being posturing, just warding, grouping up, de-warding, and see if they can get picks before the next objective is coming up, which is going to be Scylla. Scylla is going to be the next objective here, and if we see a clean team fight, we definitely can see some inhibs being taken.
For sure here. And it seems like despite the state of what the towers are, that this team here in bad timing is able to firmly take control back at any juncture of a team fight of not only these initiations, but the map state. I have to imagine, dude, if you're playing against top 10, you're absolutely playing on your toes. We are going to see over here to the left a grouping of that Sparrow as well as Grux making their way into mid, showing a bit of face, but possibly rotating out. If not, we do have Crunch over to the far lane, pushing, getting a little bit of CS as he is able to clear this space. And we're going to see him actually backing out here now as that lane is now being rotated onto. Rotating over to the side here, we are going to see that builds coming well very nicely for both of these teams here. Fire definitely making a significant difference for both of these teams. You know, Pleat has to be feeling it, not nearly as tanky as he would like to be in the face of multiple fires, but also because of this, his Belka able to get across extreme damage that we have not seen previously.
Yeah, getting mid tower down, opening up the map a little bit more. Fire Sphere up in about a minute. Right now, looking at levels here while we got some time, Cranky's doing a really good job of just farming. Plead unfortunately is a little under leveled. Comparing it to the enemy jungler, 16 of 14 Plead under leveled. It would be interesting to see, I mentioned this before, having them swap out starters. Cranky going into the smite and Plead going into, you know, maybe a greenstone that's more survivability. But that 2-level difference, that's 100 gold or 100 that's 100 difference.
That's 100 on the smite.
Yeah, so
yeah.
That could potentially come into play here. So it'll be interesting to see if they do make that swap. Cranky doing a really good job of getting that farm, and
for sure.
next Scylla coming up.
215, 30 minutes. Not the most insane that we've seen, especially with that 226 and 278 coming out of Narek. 279, about to break the precipice of 300, just a bit over that 30-minute mark. The farming coming out of the mid laner, absolutely insane here, and a big reason why this build has gone so far and he's able to make such an impact within these fights. I mean, you know, the 8 kills also might be a bit of a contributor, one would say. One would probably speculate, but it is going to be indeed your boy rotating over, not picked up on a ward from what it sees of the pathing, just narrowly dodging it, but map sense coming off of Cranky. He is going to be now rotating on the back foot.
I love how Cranky is constantly deep into the enemy jungle, and they keep rotating, but he's like, I have a double dash, I'm good, you can't catch me.
Yeah, he's very aware. He's the Wukong of this game specifically. However, it is going to be Cranky on the back line, possibly looking for an initiation here. However, he is going to be forced to think otherwise as he is melted, and then the blink gets caught up off the top of the wall. That is going to be a pick to bring the kills back to 14-14, as Narek gets also brought down to about a third of his health. It is going to be now here, top 10. Prime Guardian, as it is going to melt near uncontested in their favor, bringing all it hits down, along with a surplus of damage on top of it.
Wow, just like that. Getting that level lead there again, 2-level lead. Blink in.
Yes, and a blink out basically of the Belka as she disappears from the map. 61 seconds remaining on the timer here, as indeed your boy is going to search for inhibs turned off, deal to the prime. It is going to be this team in top 10 surging forward, looking to bring us to a game 4 between the two of these. Going to be a soft reset, it looks like, before they go in to try to make a play on this core, but that is not going to be the call.
Yeah, a lot of
seeing that it is going to be 4 up. We have at least 14 gold here on the Grux alone. You have to know everyone here is itching to possibly get a power spike on the side of top 10.
Yeah, and that last little engagement there, Crunch unfortunately getting caught out into a 4v1, and the Ranger Blub being he was set up for Spirit, so he wasn't in that team fight at all. So it was a 3v5 essentially, with Crunch being caught out and Blub not being there. So they unfortunately had to give up the objective, and good play there by top 10, able to capitalize on knowing that Silla's up. The enemy team might want to go for that, so we can try to pull this. Oh wait, there's a Crunch here. Let's kill him, and we can pull this objective. So good play there by top 10.
Now it comes down to the question of how this team is going to go through the end, because being honest, in a 5v5 situation, despite having those 2 carries, I kind of am still in favor of Bad Timing's team fight.
Yeah.
If they are able to get a pick, do a little bit of displacement here with the Mako, or a good stun onto the Rampage. Do not get me wrong. Wrong King is not to be slept on. With the Gideon ult, a lot of CC and damage can be uttered out, and the control that can come off the back end of it, still something very much so to keep yourself aware of. But I mean, you have a Crunch lockdown, you have Rampage initiating, Mako with the peel or the knockaway if things start to look a little bit hairy. But I guess within this instance of the game, when health is looking like it is, and you have 4 fires, that knockup isn't doing as much, because by the time the droid bomb blows up, you already have a character sent back to the gray screen.
Yeah, right now it's gonna be keeping these waves pushed out. No objective coming up yet. We do see a little grouping in mid here. We haven't seen that last fight wasn't a clean 5v5 fight. So once we see this clean 5v5 fight, we'll see if the front line. Great blink out. Gideon ult. Great Gideon ult here.
Top is going to hit 4, and it is going to be the Murdoch melting through Narek there, and following up is going to be Plead. This is going to be top 10 surging for it. Spirit broken off, and it's going to be Cranky Trash Can disregarded to the recycling bin, as it is going to be game 3, Go's favorite top 10.
1 game down, 2 more to go. The swap up there with needing a caster, going with 3 damage rolls. We'll see if they can adjust to that and come back and game number 2 here, see if their picks and bans are going to change. And we'll see. We gotta see what the role swap is going to be, or what the team swap here.
Dude, really good game coming out of this team. It is going to be top 10, showing the strength that can come with having that caster. Even if you're not going tanky, you can play the aggressiveness, but you need someone to help control the field to, in the case of top 10, their head off the initiation. Romp King able to do that very well, despite Narek putting on an absolute clinic of play there. Absolutely locking down almost instantaneously anybody who came across them. It was insane.
BT were, it was definitely, I feel like the momentum swung back into their favor until that last fight where, you know, Crunch got picked out. The Blub was on the Spirit, so he was able to make that rotation, so it became a 5v3, and they were able to get Guardian and then make that push. So before that, they were doing a really good job of just keeping that momentum. And also, sorry, we do need to talk about like the invade. They got it. They did it once. They did it once. So I think now that that's happened, the team BT, BT can be a little bit more prepared. They'll be more grouped, prepared, get better wards for things like that not to happen.
I almost forgot. That was such a shields down moment. They were like, all right, they were like looking, they're creeping, and then they're pouncing, dude. And I would pay money to hear the comms of Plead as he sees the entirety of the top 10, 5 deep in his jungle, and he's just looking for a little bit of red buff. And he is forced down into the grave, gray screened, as the rest of his team rotate out. And all things considered, being able to recruit a lot of the CS they lost pretty early on, relatively efficiently here, no longer locked into playing aggressively, and being able to put Indeed a little bit ahead.
Yeah, that shouldn't fly again. They'll be a little bit more prepared for that. That was kind of just the, you know, we lost 2 games. Let's throw a Hail Mary and see if this can happen, since they're not preparing for it. And it did work out. It worked in the beginning. Then BT started having really great team fights and were kind of dominant from then until that last Prime Guardian. So even with that early invade, it wasn't the end of the game by that standard. BT was able to come back and hold off until, you know, again, that very end. But now that that's happened once, I'm sure they can better prepare for it, and that shouldn't happen again. And also, keep in mind, like, this is one game. They have to win 2 more games.
They have to reverse sweep it if they want to bring it back.
Sorry, let me re-clarify. They have to win 5 more games because it is a best of 5. So if BT loses this set, we play another best of 5. So they have to win 3 more. So 5 more games.
Oh my goodness.
That is the advantage of winning all the way to the finals.
Yeah, indeed, man. It is one of 2 things are going to happen here. It's either going to be a legendary comeback that I can tell my boss in the morning as I tell him I am not coming into work, or it is going to be a tale of the tales for what we've seen thus far in this game, and that is going to be bad timing and its boys possibly closing out this game here, and the forced game 4 coming from top 10, as we are going to see a Muriel ban off the rip to lead here for our beginning for our picks and bans.
Yeah, so it is, like I said before, it is a tough, long hill to climb for a team top 10. Can they do it? They have to start slowly going. They have one win under the belt, so they need 5 more. And then for BT right now, they just need 1 game. They see one game to close it out.
1 game, and you know they do not feel the pressure more or less from that game. It was top 10 able to rip 1 out of them, rip 1 from their hands, but now it's just a matter of this team in bad timing playing the way they can, playing to the strengths of their team, of their composition. Not only that, but their players. You got Black Air Force Bluff. You got Narek, who I have just found out apparently recently that everyone in the comments has apparently told me is a Paragon veteran. I'm not aware. I'm not as aware, but apparently big fan base, very big fan base of this character Narek, who put on an absolute clinic on the belt. And we are going to see this team here in top 10 pivoting back to Gideon and Sparrow, 2 characters that have led them to success. One more recently, Sparrow a bit more consistently. Now it's going to see what the response is going to be from this team in bad timing.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the BT players are OGs, and a lot of these names are maybe not recognized in the newer Paragon Overprime community, but OG players know about these guys from back in the OG Paragon competitive scene. But yeah, so these guys definitely really good. But yeah, we will see. We do have the Gideon pick and the Sparrow being top picked. The Crunch, Bellica, Rampage running it back. It seems like we have a pretty similar draft here.
It is. Is this going to be basically just a run it back minus our crunch? We will take the Decker, a character we know very well is just an absolute snowball machine. If she is led into the game and a lead is developed, as we talked about earlier, it becomes so much easier to get your damage off when she is in the game, when she is locking down space, when she is stunning people individually. So it is going to be a matter now here with Strongo and Mako picked on the other team. Very good picks and a very good, strong comp we are seeing out of this team.
This is the same comp, right? For BT?
I think it is, except they have a crunch now.
They have a crunch. What was the... They had a crunch. They had a crunch because Crunch got picked off. Cranky was on Crunch.
That is
it.
It's
the same
Crunch
team
got
comp.
picked off. They are running it back this time.
A steal.
Looks like do it again and a steal lock in this time.
We have not seen steal at all in this tournament. No love for steal until now. I know a lot of people have a lot of love for steal, but now we're finally seeing him being played.
Oh my goodness, Cordy, are you ready? I need a sip of water here, gamer. I need to prepare.
There we go. Game number 2. We'll see how Narek back on the caster, back on the Bellica.
Oh God, here we go again. Oh shit, here we go again. I know you played that GTA. I know
Yeah.
You did, Cordy. As we are going to load up this game, so after last game, what do you think is going to be the key for this team in bad timing to seal out this series?
Honestly, just continue playing the way they are. The early invade is definitely something they were accustomed to. Now that it's happened, they can adapt. Other than that, they were playing well. They were again. I felt like the momentum swung into their favor in that game, until they got caught out. But for BT, all they need to do is play how they've been playing, and I think they can have this game.
I have to agree here. And if you are going to be top 10 here, looking to extend this game, another game, you have to play basically a near perfect game here. You were able to create yourself some good tempo and an incremental advantage off the rip last game with that 5-man game. But now you're playing a mano v mano, the 1v1s, the lanes v lanes, and it's all going to come down to the tempo in which you're going to be able to set from the get-go without the tricks, without the gimmicks. And it is going to be as objective oriented as it always has been. As it's going to be the Decker clearing a bit of space, looking to get aggressive here early, dodging out an item, but then they are going to get set down. It is going to now be 4 autos that are going to translate it across in the duo lane early, but it is also going to be an early rotation back the lane here coming from Drongo as he looks to hop step himself up the cliff, having a little bit of a time there. Hopping up and down, preparing to clear lane.
Like we said about the Decker, Decker is a lane bully in this lane. Decker is able to apply a lot of pressure. Speaking of pressure, Cranky putting a lot of pressure here on the Steel. Still level 1, zoning out the Steel, keeping him forced under tower. But yeah, the Decker is just... I hate playing duel, and there's an enemy Decker.
Dude,
it's just the worst.
I almost retired from duo because I got tired of Deckers into Murdochs, just out of bush, just auto, just
what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, just exactly
coming from the bush and hitting a stun.
Precisely that.
Yeah.
Just like, I know that you're having fun with this gameplay right now, but God, this is my hellscape. Every day, Decker plus Murdoch, personally, Cordy, that's my sleep paralysis demon. And even here, Decker plus Spurrow, even more potent, because now it scales to an almost impeccable level. It is going to be a level 3 to level 3 here within the solo lane. Sippy L Crunch as Rampage is going to be looking to lock down his blue Rampage. A little frighteningly close here to the Sparrow and pushed up Decker. You do have that range disengage just in case you need it, but it is, relatively safe considering they do have that side warded. But on the back camps to the far right bottom is going to be Grux clearing out his blue side. Each team relegating themselves to the clearing phase of the game, understanding that it is a game of first to likely fuck up. And honestly, we don't want it to be either of us. It's what every team is going to be communicating to themselves. Both of these know the stakes. The only difference is this team at bad time is able to rest on their laurels a bit more.
Blank would be forced out. Cranky's doing a really good job in this solo lane, doing a lot, dominating the solo lane, forcing the Grux to rotate over. So blanking out is going to be the crunch. And looking at on the map here, okay, Grux is going to back out. A little pressure in mid. Rom King half health, low mana, and Narek is how close is he to level 6 here? Maybe about another wave here. He can hit level 6, but Rom King is going to back. So not in threat of ult.
Not able to know what that sitting is going to be, and it is going to be a jiggy dash in here coming from Indeedy Boy DTV as he engages on fleet over to the side. It is going to be a missed knockup coming out of Narek on the Bellica as he does look to instead rotate over here to the left. Both members in this dual lane relatively low, but it is going to be a rotate from the backstep of the Mako, surviving and maybe helping that Drongo survive as well if he chooses to stay in lane. But we're going to see instead allocates to the back.
Yeah, Blink down, Blink forced out there by the dual lane. Laning pace is gonna be definitely rough for the dual lane for BT, but as the game is, laning phase is not as important as it is when you start rotating and having those team fights. And again, BT has, in my opinion, the better team fights in this tourney, so laning phase won't be as impactful. However, if they do get multiple kills and the ADC starts to snowball off of those kills, then it becomes a problem. But we'll definitely see either more of a rotation here from Rampage to help relieve some pressure, or just like, yo, sorry I can't really make that rotation. You guys are dealing with an annoying matchup. Speaking of the matchup, no Blink here from BT, and he's caught out.
Locked down, and that's going to be blood falling here to the Decker as well as the Sparrow. A kill going over in favor of bad timing. First blood, setting the tempo for them. But on the side, it is going to be Rampage. Yeah, dude, you got to stop doing it to him, man. I'm going to tell him. They're going to come in here.
I caster cursed them again.
Okay, but here it is going to be the Rampage lockdown, and we know he does not have a blink. That is going to be a dragon coming from the Gideon as he looks to jump and clear the space, but we're going to see a pullback and a stun followed up by the entire
Good body blocks.
and it is going to be Plead, who's going to fall secondarily in a water spirit, or as I like to call it, the tear spirit, because it makes everyone who sees it cry, and it is going to be that nonetheless being dragged over by Team Top 10 here. 2-0 lead, objective likely to be their favorite 6 minutes into the game.
Top 10 doing a really good job of having that lane pressure in soul or in dual lane, able to get the kill. Rampage rotating over to relieve some pressure, unfortunately getting caught out on the great body blocking for standing on top where he couldn't go anywhere as the objective was up. So good plays here from Top 10.
So Cordy, I have a question here for you, man. So sadly enough, really, overpowered and stuff, and trying to, improve upon that where I can in a lot of my free time. I haven't been able to watch as much, if not all of this tournament, right? So the extent of what I've seen out of bad timing is the one game we casted for them and the one game they played it overpowered, where they actually played against Top 10. What is the fundamental? Because I'm seeing a lot of the comments, I'm seeing a lot of there seems to be a history behind this team that maybe I myself am not filled in on. These guys have a bit of a fandom. Can you tell me who is bad timing here? What we got a little bit of cooldown time?
We haven't watched them a lot during the tourney. Some of their games were casted, but Belica.
Oh my God!
Just deleting.
Belica just cast Decker to the Shadow Realm gamer. Welcome to the great screen. That is going to be putting this team in bad timing on the board.
Narek rotating over and introducing himself to the dual lane. Like, hey, you've been bullying my dual lane, but I'm still here. Don't forget about me. Narek doing a really good job just rotating and helping relieve that pressure. But going back to your question. Yeah, we haven't seen much of the Team BT in the tournament. We haven't had them casted on this side, but actually, I think the only casting that you have done is when we've seen them. But yeah, they are old heads. They back in the OG Paragon on the definitely well known in the community. Really good players.
You are correct. I am new to the whole casting. I think I've been doing it for 4 weeks now. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, it's been a blast. Thank you real quick shout out to you for inviting me here to cast alongside you here for the conclusion of your tournament. But we are not quite done yet, as we're gonna be continuing on throughout and seeing if this team in bad timing is going to pull it from the grave, pull the viewers from their beds, pull the sheets over your head, because if it is going to be a completion of the comeback, it is going to have to be a 5-0 coming out of Top 10 here, as it is going to be Indeedy Boy floating over to the Prime Guardian. Derek does have eyes on them. It is going to be a dash in and an ult immediately on to the Belica. The ult is going to go through CCing for just a bit, and we do not know if this Belica has the blink up, and it does not look like it, as she is going to perish to the steel, matching the name. Those hands hitting very hard, trapped in the corner. Is going to be
him.
The crunch, crazy, doing a lot of damage and riping through. It is going to now be a disengage from the Grux. Plead now looking to get active, and ult coming from Rocking above head. It is going to be a disengage coming from the Gideon. Not much distance on that one, but it is going to force this team here in bad timing to disengage, as Top 10 is allowed to get likely another
very low health.
Guardian underling.
Right, very low health, was tanking that objective the entire time. Just a rotation from the dual lane. There's a team gap here. Crunch going in, getting a stun, the knock up the rock, and CC to death. He's still alive. No, the blink.
Oh my God. And the Dragon, the Valiant, you didn't take me, I took you. Buying a little bit of time here for its teams, as the kills do flip now to 3-2 favor and objective favor. Still going to be Top 10 here. Sub or just about on 10 minutes into this game. Honestly, really good positioning out of the team there in bad timing in order to lock themselves up, or give themselves the ability to lock up this, my apology, dry throat, to lock up the remnant of Grex looking to make his way out. Great CC control, great allocation of using their abilities, and at the end, Grex doing what he can, the only thing he can in that instance, and allowing himself to pull one last set of people back before getting back to the gray screen.
All right, really quickly, I'm just kind of going through the backliners here and looking at their teleports to see if any teleports were off cooldown. Every caster ranger has their teleports. We had 40 seconds on this prime objective, which actually, it's the water spirit.
Oh, let's go. Oh, dude, you can hear my enthusiasm. You can hear it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. That's enough trolling water spirit before Ranger overhears and makes it give you 12% region. All right, I'll calm it down a little bit. But yeah, spirit definitely not playing as much of a factor, and because of that, prime spirit gargling, I'm not ever going to back down from that, is definitively going to be something that is going to be worth a lot of value throughout this game, as that is going to be dropped from the behind by the mid laner here, as it looks like
I think
they're
it
using
expired,
as a
maybe.
distraction to rotate over onto the left lane here to probably take this water spirit.
If this mid tower goes unchecked, all right, Narek is going to go back for it. It is going to be water spirit, so not the main thing is you're getting a global gold out of it. So it looks like that actually might be the case here for Beats. You're like, yo, it's water spirit, let them have it, who cares? They are going to get some gold, but let's just continue farming ourselves so they can waste their time on that objective. Mid is going to take care of the underling, and yeah, I believe it's 150 gold for everybody for doing the spirit.
Correct. That is going to be 150 gold, which is going to inch them along throughout their build here, as they do get the secondary water spirit, which, I mean, it's not. Oh, it's not terrible.
6%.
It's just bad. It's just bad. We may make it look unplayable, but you do get gold. It is still a passive action buff. And you know, after a fire game last game, I can see that the devs and the RNG decided we needed something to cool us off a little bit parched. We got the Power Raid Spirit over to the left. A little disappointing, but still can be a fundamental part of a win, especially if we do get these long drawn out team fights, including this Scrux, including this Steel, and with the CC and disengage that is going to be able to assist this Gideon on Rom King in peeling for himself, as well as creating distance, it could become valuable later in the game. But up to that point, we are going to see these builds coming through. Plead on Zimios, we got Cranky Trash Can with the Life Steal, and Vampiric Sword and BT Glove on an oldie but a goodie, a new favorite that's arisen with the nerfing of some of the other items. That's going to be Merchant's Jewelry Box, doing that 6% percentage remaining of health, and Narek on the Witch's Shoes, just looking to get that damage across. And I'm going to say Narek's CS at this time, 127, is a wet dream for me. And if only I could see such numbers in my comp games. Really happy to see both of these teams taking a very important step of making sure that despite the kills, their CS is always in order. And for people looking to get into playing this game competitively, that is something you always got to keep in mind.
Yeah, and then looking at the builds here, it does seem like Narek is going to be leveling up that starter, knowing the heavy CCs, having those cooldowns right now. Ron putting a little bit of pressure, Decker coming with the stun, dodging the stun and dodging the pull. Narek with the juke shoots, but Sparrow's behind. So much pressure being put on Narek here, knowing that he's the target to shut down.
For sure, man. And after seeing what they did that last game, can you blame them at all? He was absolutely fundamental in them getting the lead that they did, 8-3, nearly at that juncture of the game, about 84% kill participation. Phenomenal gameplay coming here out of Narek, and despite them wanting them dead, they're not going to have it. You're going to have to bring more. But over to the side lane, it is going to be Gideon saving the life of his Grux, but taking the life of the Crunch. All things are perfectly balanced. Thanos would agree, as it should be, because it is going to be one mid-Bertha Gray screen and another slipping away by the hair on a shinny chin. But in the mid lane, it is once again going to be there getting addressed upon, but it is going to be Gator Fire, burning bright and burning nothing, because you're underwater, drowning in the fact that you may have missed Narek yet again, but maybe next time you're going to be catching up on Captain Jack Sparrow at the mid lane.
Yeah, right now I feel like the support needs to spend some time with Narek, kind of show him some love here, because he's getting a lot of love from team top 10. They are sending the whole kitchen sink at him, trying to shut this guy down, make sure he doesn't get online. But they're doing a really good job of just being survival. That's why I was mentioning earlier. It looks like he might go into that early gemstone and getting it upgraded fully to get that lower cooldown on that teleport, because of how much love he's getting in this game.
Dude, you know, honestly, I just, you know, I love the affection Narek is getting. He's getting it from the comments. He's getting
Yeah.
it from top 10. He's getting it from me. Because Jesus Christ, I had to be tilting like a flat earther, putting like a paperweight on one side of their diagram if I got ganked that many times this early throughout the game, forced to just constantly burn my disengage.
Narek is what I call getting the streamer treatment. It's a terrible feeling when I'm getting ganked non-stop in mid because they want to be on stream or trolling. But he's getting the streamer treatment.
One thing here, and I don't know if you've had this. So I've only recently entered the public eye of Paragon, right? I've started casting just because I needed people to cast for overpowered, and so I was like, I'll do it myself. I was playing a quick play. Tourney, minding my business while we have a moment, setting up for the inevitability of the prime underling party, and some dude clapped me. I'm talking a round of applause, a standing ovation, if you will. And then after the game of him like 8-0ing me in my lane, bullying me out, he's like, "Nice casting, big fan."
Yeah. Yep.
I have never felt the disrespect of like the gravitational pull of this getting overneath the top that is going to leave the selective life of that Belica Narek finally falling here to the intents of top 10 ads. There's going to be a forced use of the Sparrow to get away, but that Crunch does have the double dash if he's able to close the space with the body block and the life, so it's going to result in him being tanky but being peeled away as these teams are split to either side. It is now going to be Black and Bruce Blood looking to get involved on one side and also create the space as the life of this steel is dwindling lower and lower and lower until it becomes gray, much like the screen he sits in now. This team in bad timing, turning their attention back towards that prime guardling, as I like to call it. Another good play coming out of bad timing.
A lot of focus being put there on Narek, forgetting that there's another monster in the duo lane who has been some occasions has definitely popped up. Blood going uncontested and getting just running at the enemy team. A lot of attention for Narek, leaving the other guy available, the other damage dealer. Blood doing a really good job of diving in and helping get those kills, and underling is going to go to the team BT as we go for another water spirit, which might not be contested. 150 gold, maybe they want to contest and see if they can set up correctly.
Yes, indeed, and it is going to be Plead here, looking to get the engage coming through, possibly, but instead, it is just going to be a scare off. Both teams starting to group around the spirit, very aware of the gold, that this water spirit, that the bad spirit, that the drowned spirit, that demon slayer, earthquake, water wake, and super splash spirit can provide, because it's not bringing you damage, and it's bringing you just a tidbit, the drip of sustain. But it is still
left
an
positioning
objective nonetheless, and it looks like instead this team is going to opt to possibly get its blue buff instead of the blue spirit. You know, honestly, they know where their values lie. I agree, as they are going to allow the pool for this just freely go over. Now, one thing to consider here is they are allowing water spirit to go because they've placed a higher emphasis of instead getting one of each for Scylla. That does spawn next. That is a very real tactic. Let them have it. We will take Scylla and allow themselves one of each buff, which is greater than 27 water buffs.
Yeah, that is true. They went in, had the positioning, and then it looks like in team comps you can see like, wait, do we really want this shitty buff, or do we want to wait for another buff and get Scylla? And so they collectively come to an agreement like, yeah, let's let them have it. They'll get the 150 gold per, and then we could just go in, wait, and take the Scylla whenever it does spawn. But as of right now, even though there are 3 objectives on the side of top 10, it is still an even game.
Yeah, oh man, so off subject a little bit, touching on, you know, just my personal thoughts. If I was the devs for the game, I would honestly just move the cooldown over from Wind Spirit onto Blue to make it at least minorly desirable. It's an easy fix. You just shift it over, like copy the homework a little bit. You already did it. Now let me just get the decimal points onto mine. Let me take a looky there at what your fraction results are, and we're gonna just shift that variable. We're gonna shift that X onto the other side of the equal sign. Boom. Now the spirit doesn't feel so terrible, so bad, so god awful. You know why the water spirit icon looks like that?
Why?
It's to represent the tears you cry when you see it spawning into your games, Cordy. It's just the feels bad. However, it's still at this point an accrued 450 gold that it has given over to Team Top 10. So it has to, at some degree, feel decent. Despite this other team may be getting Scylla, they won't be able to recover the surplus of gold that has gone over to the other team in Top 10. As we are going to have a bit of a slower game here, Top 10 seemingly taking a breath and using that refresh, that restart to, you know, allow them to try to run things at their own pace, while BT looks to utilize the lead that they've used before and drawn before to put an end to the series.
Yeah, that would be a good change, is adding the cooldown. I mean, it kind of goes well together, right? It would be more. I mean, even supports will use it more effectively as well, with the cooldowns and the Rangers. I'm sorry, the tanks and warriors, but having the mana regen and cooldown just kind of seems like a really good pairing. So that could be something they can easily fix, and have the wind spirit being attack speed and movement speed. Although doing that might only be beneficial to the Rangers in that case, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they can do to adjust it. But I do like the change of you know, after 3 objectives. Before it was 5. If you get 5, which is really hard to see, if you get 5 spirits, then Scylla will spawn. But now it's 3, and we see Scylla. So I do like that change. It makes Scylla being a little bit more impactful in these games. And right now we have solo lane in the duo lane. Both teams just kind of chilling, getting some farm, and ready to take that portal whenever the team decides to fight around the objective.
For sure there, as it does look like here we are going to be seeing this team push up into their own red side jungle here. My apologies, I have a little bit of tech issues on my side. We're gonna have a little bit of an audio distortion as I am going to hop back into the game here. Hopefully it resets, but that is going to be crunched out, initiating onto the top end here of the steel, just trading a little bit of damage, maybe just a little bit of a friendly kiss there, as these two tanks know that without committing a lot of resources a lot more heavily, neither of them is killing the other.
Now Crunch able to do a lot of CC, can get a lot of can lower the health down on Steel here as they make that rotation. But yeah, as right now, not much going on. The main objective, it's really crazy to see that the main objective is the Prime Guardian, but no one is ever willing to pull the Prime Guardian. It's mainly a team fight around the Spirit. So I think with the inconsistency of how the Prime works, when it's going to pull, when it's going to do the AoE abilities, the pit that you're in whenever you're pulling that objective, it just makes it really hard for the team pulling it to have the advantage here. Always blood blinking out.
Yeah, and that's going to be inner fire being expended here off of top 10, and then dodging in. That is going to be an ultra getting above head. All the members of this team is going to escape, though, as he now finds himself pinched in between the two Rom King, sealed down, locked down, and then sent to the gray screen, as it is now going to be in steel, charging in, looking to create a little difference. That is going to be a shield thrown up on nothing but mid-air as Gideon is fallen. That is so far a 1-0 trade in favor of only one team, and that team is going to be... You're supposed to finish the sentence. Top 10, as BT Blood and them are now charging for it. The Grucks are going to be forced to go back off the back end here, using that charge
Crunch
to just
around.
create
Crunch
some
around.
space, and then Crunch wrapping around on the backside. That is going to be Spirit Fang being procced here, as the damage is actually going to start melting him through, but he will survive nonetheless. Sparrow now falling secondarily on this team, as one seems to surge forward after this team fight, making their way towards what looks like the Prime Guardian pit.
Oh man, I'm not sure if they're really gonna pull this. It looks like they are gonna be pulling this. Low health, low mana. No blank here per Blub. We do have a defense here from Bellica and Crunch. Let's hop on them really quick. Crunch taking a lot of damage. Forced to dash out. Gonna get pulled back in. 7,000 left.
Yeah,
they're gonna,
and it is going to get
is it gonna reset? Are they gonna pull it back?
They
They pull it back.
Pull it back. It is now Prime Guardian for top 10. 5,000 health melting very quickly. That's going to go down to 4,000. Quickly approaching 3 on the backside. That is going to be a big rampage. Hyping yourself up. Get in there, big man, because you know what you're here to do. Let's try to get active. Let's try to get a steal as he is going to be able to see and lock the hell. Is it going to go one way or another? It is going to be off the reverse pull. Indeed, your boy for top 10. Pulling it back. Pleat is going to go down onto the backside. Blub now fighting for his life as he is forced to disengage. That is going to be an ult, if anything, to stifle the blood of this team and cement it onto the ground as they fall. All inhibitors down, and guess who happens to be in town? That's going to be Rom King. That's going to be Indeed. It's going to be Sippy now crushing in on that right side inhibitor as the Grux in the mid lane are going to crush that mid. An easy rotation off of a reverse pull in the Prime Pit. 40. What happened there, man?
Yeah, I was questioning that call there. They got 2 down, but unfortunately they weren't killing it fast enough. They used some cool abilities, some key abilities. They were low health, low mana. It was a very questionable call to go for that rather than going for Scylla. Would have been a lot more safer. They tried to go for it, wasn't able to kill it fast enough, got out, and then able to top 10, able to take over and keep it from getting reset. Yeah, just an unfortunate misplay there from BT.
And it is going to be Ruler of Spirit Scylla here once again, falling within the pocket. 150 gold going to each of them, and the following fire and sad buff of water. You know, do you guys see, if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can put that in the dictionary right next to the feels bad man definition in Urban Dictionary.
So they do get the other stats, even though it doesn't show on here, but they are getting the other stats there from Scylla. But yeah, this is just funny seeing all these water spirits. But yeah, that was the call there was definitely questionable. I wasn't sure if they were gonna commit to it or go ahead and rotate to the spirit. Belica wasn't able to help with a lot with the DPS. Was going to get that blue buff to get some mana to help with the DPS, but yeah, that was a throw, and for sure.
That is 100% that reverse pull out. You had to have some level of confidence, or at least knowledge, that if you let this go, this team in top 10 are going to pick it up. However, we have seen bad timing come back from worse, maintain their play from worse, and it is going to come down to just a team fight, because all those objectives do not matter as long as the core stands. And right now, I'm not sure what everyone else is seeing, but it's a 100% that is going to be a good blink out at the expenditure of the steel ult, a rampage ult now, as it is going to be Blacksmith Scissors that is going to proc this team very smartly, bursting down the rampage from a safe distance. It is going to be one by one, methodically and mechanically. They're going to see chasing down this crunch, or at least chasing him out of the general area. Now looking to press in on each side. This team in top 10 melting down throughout these minions, applying a push here onto the core. That is going to be a
knockback ult.
A big Rom King ult to create a distance around the space, and then interfire burning breath, something to melt through a few of the health bars. However, his itself is not safe. Do not burn yourself out, little buddy, as he is turned into a fish.
Crunch.
And it is going to be the crunch. Crazy Trash can absolutely play out of his mind. Is going to select that ride and knock him down, and then knock down the Rom, and then BT Bluff, the Black Air Force himself, is going to collect himself yet another, as we see Flying Wally, the cowboy rider, is going to mount this steal and bring him back. The knock up, the knockdown, the damage. He's getting low, but he knows that you backing not an option, and that life steal is going to come a hell of a ways, as he's going to see a re-engage coming from this steal, but it is going to result in a disengage and a pretty solid defense that does result still in a lot of damage to the core. Bad timing.
Yeah, that was a good defense there by bad timing, but unfortunately the core, it is at 26% with no inhibs. So the next push, they have to fight outside the objective. They can't let any outside of the core. They can't let any of the I'm blanking here. Any of the top 10 players go in and get damage. So right now we have a grouping here in mid, trying to siege one last time and try to get that core down.
For sure, man. For sure. And what, in your opinion, does BT need to do to bring this game back? I'll tell you, it's not looking great, right? It's up 50%.
That's it.
Core.
You gotta fight outside.
It's never looked good. You gotta fight out, and you gotta take it, and you not only gotta take it, you gotta win it. And it's not looking like it is winnable at the moment. That Spirit will go off, but the damage is not going to reach nearly as many. It is going to be this team here at top 10 starting to surge forward on the back line. It's going to be the Crunch getting repositioned as this team does surge out from different angles, looking to slowly, methodically apply that pressure. The knockup is going to be coming off from Bellic, and a big ult that is going to miss here, coming out of the Rom King on the Gideon, as that enemy core is going to be burning ever lower and lower with the creeping of the minions. It is going to spare, but the buddy hop does not equate to enemy core damage as this team comes to the realization it may be a falsity, it may be a throw, but it still is a dream in this moment. And right now, the reality of ending this game, it's not coming quite yet. That's going to be a disengage from both of these teams.
Good defense there by BT. 19% on the core. Inhib's going to be spawning back in. They got to push the waves out and then force another fight. Guardian, 30 seconds on Guardian. They have to push these waves out, or they're going to get taken again by the waves of the powered minions. Good defense here, but they are...
While they're doing that, one thing to keep a note is that Prime is up in 20 seconds. Yeah. Just a few seconds after Sparrow would be up. Is it plausible here, do you think, to see top 10 get the... team on that Prime as it spawns up, and then just look for the rotation from Sparrow on the back end, Cordy?
Yeah, they need to push out right side a little bit more and take that portal to go in. Looks like Scylla is going to be the play here for top 10. There's a little grouping up, actually a little grouping around mid. Scylla spawned. Guardian is up as well. And this is a tough defense here. Scylla is going to go down. There, they had to get these minions down here. Now, once they hear the Scylla being pulled, it's a little bit more of a relief, right? They know that they're not on the Guardian. Rather have them get Scylla than get the Guardian. And they got to get these waves pushed out. The minion's going to be a little empowered. So like left side, looks like they're pushing up. They are running over a ward here.
Indeed, as it looks like this team in top 10 is going to look to try to take us here to a game 5. Hopefully bringing down this inhib if you are a fan
of the back line.
However, off the back end, that is going to be a crunch. Looking to hit the knock up, as it is going to be his team there to back him up. It's a bad situation for him to be in. Spritzfang is going to pop off. However, he's going to be able to freely disengage, tanking a lot than even more.
Getting in the back line.
It's going to be expended. It is now going to be the rampage.
Crunch.
Collecting the life, and over the top, it is going to be Crunch. Looking to once again get active. That helps
the mid
region. And then a root almost immediately off of the minions in the mid lane, indeed, on the precipice of possibly taking that middle. If the team does not rotate, it is now going to be still buying time for his people to get out, to get to teleporters, to get anywhere that's not here, because he's going to fall. And the Crunch Wally is going to pack him up like the trash can on a trash planet, sending him back to the gray screen.
2 down.
It is right now a 2 down trade for top 10 here, and not an inhibitor down, as the core now breaks 20% and it's on its way back up.
Recharging here. They need to go in group now. It looks like the call might be to pull the objective. There might be a slow rotation by everybody here. Don't think they'll be able to get it cleanly and fast enough. Gideon 5 seconds up. Almost clear that. I was gonna be surprised. I was like, "What? He could clear that? I didn't know he can go that far." But yeah, Crunch, man, crunching a great job of just getting to the back line and stunning and keeping them in combat.
This feels like such a brawl. How are you supposed to be top 10 and hope to come back and have to win 5 straight against this team when every single win feels so grueling, feels so hard, as the ult does ring true from Bellic, a casting gun, giving a fatal root over to the other side of top 10, but not killing, not finishing the job, and as it's now going to be Indy, your boy, who is going to possibly fall here, and now the Prime Guardian is free to be smited by the opponent's team here. However, luckily for top 10, they do still have multiple towers up, as that is going to be an ult coming from King over the top, looking to make a miracle happen, a dream. However, it's time to wake up to reality, as this is going to be a 2-1 trade.
Wow. Team fight, man. Great team fight there for BT. Rom going in, trying to get, he had a really good pull, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get any kills, and Narek doing a really good job of knocking out multiple targets, getting a lot of damage, and the collabs from the enemy team or from from BT doing a really good job. And the CCs,
Oh my
he couldn't do
goodness,
anything.
dude. Can you remind me of what that character's name was just now? Please, can you tell me?
I don't even know who it was. He died so
Are you
fast.
sure I thought that was Silly Putty. He's from the planet Pudding because that dude just got folded like a roll-up Fruit Loop, man. Jeez Louise. They went into the tower, they took his life, and they skedaddled. The amount of damage that this team is able to outpour is exceedingly high coming out of the team here on Bad Timing, as Bellica gives the enemy team a little bit of a knock-up on the way out. You can call them a bad baby daddy because they are on the runaway routine. Back to core they go. Narek looking to skedaddle.
Wow, the team fight of BT, man. I'm gonna this game is, you know, everyone's playing really well, but we have to give it up for Cranky. That guy is just playing massive.
Insanity throughout the entirety of this game, consistently 1v3ing, drawing aggro, applying pressure. Truly Cranky right now, doing it all, being overpowered by every meaning of the word. Looking to secure his team, along with Blub and Narek backing him, every member of Bad Timing, playing well and playing together more than anything else, trying to make the comeback happen. Me and my friends, back when we used to play Paragon, I was only in middle school, I think, when the game came out, and I just fell in love with it. And within that instance, we came back one time from 3 inhibs down. Never since that moment, we always mutter to ourselves in instances that Bad Timing find themselves in now. 3 inhibs down to remind ourselves that it is possible, that anything at this level is possible, as we look to draw this game likely soon to its conclusion. But the question is, top 10, Bad Timing. Chat, Cordy, who do you guys got?
It is in heavily a favor for me. BT. Solo's coming up. They're actually pushing down mid while Solo is being up. Good call here, forcing the back of the enemy team. 38%. Can they get this mid inhib and go for the core?
It is 38%, and you want to fight this as far away from the core as possible. They are going to just take it and more than likely run here, looking like they just want for this to stop. They just want for this team not to be able to push up anymore, and for Bad Timing, for that core not to be able to heal any further. I can feel it. It's starting to build. It's starting to swell. We're coming to the
great rock
of this game, as that rock is going to lock down the Gideon. However, it is not going to be enough, as Crush is going to close the distance, but he is going to be met with a whole lot of CC, as they seem to CC and send him back down to the gray screen. It is going to now be Rampage being locked down, inner fire, burning bright.
The Rom ults
on the back line. It's going to be a big Rom ult, sucking in one and then blowing them out at the afterlife, as one by one the members of this team start to fall. Bad Timing. The Titans are being told, and it is being turned not in their favor, as it is pleased.
This is it.
The fourth to fall. This team, top 10, looking to surge forth. One game closer now to completing the comeback. 2 out of the 5 down. I hope you guys are ready for the next game.
Oh,
game 5.
man. I cast the curse them again.
You do. I'm telling them. I'm hopping in the chat and I'm letting them know what you do. Why do you do this to them? Also, why do you do this to my sleep schedule? Oh.
Wow. One more and it gets reset. Seeing these guys are, this is the best like gameplay that they have gotten. You know, casuals aren't going to be doing this, ranks not going to be doing this, even scrims if they're scrimming. When it comes to scrimming, you know, there's not a full commitment, but in this kind of environment, when it's a tournament setting, you get the best game that you can get out of a video game, and out of a MOBA. So these guys are, I'm sure these guys are tired, especially for BT. I'm sorry, for top 10, because they're coming from the loser brackets. They played other previous games. Now they have
that before this.
Yeah. They played like an hour and a half before this game happened. So these guys have been just, they are I'm sure the competitiveness in them, they're excited to have these kind of games.
Man, I will say one thing of note here. I did see in the comment section, I appreciate this. Somebody said, "Can the casters' throats take 5 more rounds?" I think we're gonna make it. Cordy, how you feeling?
I'm good. We're good. We're good. The competitiveness and the high gameplay is going to keep me going. I think I'll be okay. I might be all right.
All right.
If you don't
All
hear
right,
me for a little bit, just cast for like 10 minutes and then
I got you.
send me a DM and that'll wake me up.
We're gonna interchange it. We're gonna interchange. This is a part of my training arc of actually becoming like a credible caster.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna go 15 minutes, and you're gonna go 15 minutes, and I'm
Oh.
gonna go 15 minutes, and then you're gonna go 15 minutes, and when the game's over, we're both gonna speak in coughing blood to each other, as we're gonna see a Muriel band come through here first.
Muriel, top
All
pick.
right.
Their top band
Let's
here.
bring the energy. Let's bring the energy, guys. This is going to be the final game, likely of this set. Win or lose, pushing the next set, or a W for bad timing, resulting in them being the victors, undefeated of this championship. And a rare ban in response. Gideon's going to be locked in first.
Gideon.
Absolutely has been a just core part of them winning in every single game. You have to have it more than the Sparrow, even I have to say now at this point, because with the Sparrow, you have a chance. With the Gideon, you have a great one.
Yeah, I'm really surprised here that we didn't maybe see a Gideon pick, because once Gideon was picked, they had top 10 have looked a lot better having that caster and having a caster presence. So I'm surprised we didn't see the Gideon pick, but yeah, first picking Gideon kind of makes sense. We don't want to give the option of the enemy team taking it from us when we're really comfortable and doing well on it. So Gideon top pick. We have the Crunch, Plead. I'm sorry, Crashy. Crashy was just, man, last game Crashy was a one-man wrecking crew. He was in the back line getting double stuns, 1v3, 1v4, taking so many abilities, getting in and out, escaping, and then wrapping back around to like, yo, I'm still here. We're fighting. Like he played really well in the Crunch show. Seeing him first pick is good.
You can see like this team now here in top 10 looking to maybe ice the opponents just a little bit. We're going to see that Decker and Steel lock in here. One thing to keep in mind here, I know Indeed does this, I know he's very wise on this one, is looking likely to wait to get his jungle pick till the back end to pick the best possible option. One thing that I know he's good at that isn't necessarily great at the 5v5, setting, depending on what your lineup is that Shinbi. So with the Grux being taken as well as the Crunch, it does beg the question, is that someone we may be able to see, or possibly someone like a Fang Mao, someone I know you're a bit of a fan of?
Yeah, right now with the Crunch and Grux being picked up here, really great CCs. I would like to see some other CCs from the Rampage. Rampage has been a dominant character. Sabarog is going to be the pick. We haven't seen Sabarog. It's usually an EU thing, but Sabarog being picked up here going to be for jungle.
This is going to be the first non-double carry game out of this team.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first non-double carry game here out of top 10.
No, they had last game. It was only caster.
No, last game it was also a normal one. I'm living 2 games in the past where they were Murdoch Sparrowing. Listen, I came off of an 11-hour shift and straight into this casting. Dude, time is a concept for me right now. My girlfriend's like looking at me like I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, of course I am. It's only January 23rd.
But yeah,
I'm just messing. But yeah, as we are going to see a strong team coming from both of these, Narek again on this Bellica, man. I gotta say, living in constant fear.
It ain't broke. Don't fix it. He's killing it on Narek.
And you have to make the argument that like it's not only that it's not broke, it might be one of the few things that has been working at a high level, hyper consistently, no matter the rain or storm. We've seen Cranky on a couple different picks. It has been Narek plus Bellica equals success. And with that success, we are going to have momentum and confidence. Both of these teams putting them 2 down to the other team coming up 2-0. Cordy, tell me, how prepared are you? This is game 5.
Game
the Cordy
5.
Cup. 350 on the line, top 10, lining up against the boys at bad timing. Who's going to strike first? Who's going to strike hard? But what really matters is who's going to strike last, because both of those scores are at 100, and the game doesn't end till that one is gone. I'm excited to get into it as we are going to see.
Oh, they are just Wing.
They
are eating this.
Here, knowing for a fact that he is not going to take the invade first. This is the top 10 that we know.
That's
and they
BT.
don't even try to hide it.
This is BT.
That's BT. Oh my god.
They are done playing these games, man. They are like, we're ending this now. You're in our way. We're running through you. Yeah, that was BT. It looks like a top 10 play, but no, BT is yeah, they're done playing games.
Dude, that I was so bamboozled there just now. I got the I was like, oh, group in S5, that's top 10. Oh, running towards the enemy team jungle. Oh yeah, that's top 10. Oh, just sprinting them down. That has to be top 10. And then I look up and I see the name Plead on there, dude. Please, mercy to the gamers, as it is going to be first blood being drawn out here by bad timing on the blue side, on the light side, looking to chase down the dark and snuff out this team in top 10 as both of these teams, after a little bit of a wild antics, are going to resort back.
No dash here for mid. Is he going to go mid? No, okay, he's not going to go mid. He's going to go rotated.
Yeah, looks like he's going to go get a jungle rotation, knowing he has a little bit of a lead and knowing he also has ward vision up. He is going to get rid of that one. Very well known that he is there, going to instead opt to retreat instead of going for another early invade, especially since the rotation could come so quickly out of that dual lane and with the teleport of the get in even quicker then. But he does have the opportunity to, if he so sees fit, use that dash to get out. So it seems more like a little conservative approach here early in the game.
Reading the chat here, it looks like looks like they were confused too, thinking it was top 10 making that W push, but yeah, BT is done. They are like, we're just gonna run it down. Got that early pressure, we haven't got any more free pressure here. We got Sevarog rotating to mid. Gotta see him on the ward here. Lots of wards on the left side of the map.
Oh man, yes indeed. As we are going to now, this is something that you see at high levels of play, and that is after every single action you do entering sprint mode, right? To get to the place as fast as possible, to be able to quickly rotate in. And it looks like in mid lane we are going to see a little bit of a scuffle here, as Sevarog and Grux are going to be going on to each other at this structure. It is now going to be Sevarog to get out, but a root coming off behind is going to secure his life as the Ghost makes his way, finagles his way, phases through the wall, trying to catch them all like the jungle buffs. Is going to be Danny Phantom. Wait, nope, that's a plead. I'm joking. That one wasn't intentional, but dude, it is once again
these guys wrapping around the tower. They ran all the way through blue.
It is, oh my goodness, the absolute state of aggression of this game. Much like the Crunch Fist, you can see this game's like, I heard you guys do aggro. Let me show you how aggro it's actually going to be done here. As this team in top 10 pivots more to an EU strat of having a tankier team that can scale well to the late game despite not having that Sparrow. I do have to say, as far as the draft go, I am in favor of this team in bad timing.
Yeah, bad timing. Narek been dominating on the Bellica every single time, and they haven't knocked him off of it yet. He's been getting me every time. He might be a little bit tired of running this character, but he's performing really well. Crunch had a great showing last game. Definitely want him back on, Cranky back on the Crunch. And yeah, Sparrow, BT Blood for me is, when I see him on the Sparrow, he's popped off. So a more noticeable ranger for me on him.
As we find ourselves here 2-2 within this game, game 5, Narek, an absolute key player. You have to ask the question, is he getting tired of playing this character, or is he hungry to get that W by whatever the means? And I know it's going to be the latter, but you have to ask, as game after game begins to pile up, the stakes begin to get higher. It can lead to some people getting a little mechanically rusty, as a lot of those 8-3 games, those like 5, 2, and 9 games do require a lot of concentration. There's a lot of effort going in, I'm sure, to this near pitch perfect performance that we've seen here.
I'm low mana. Narek has ult.
And a very low man. Is that going to be a draw in? It's, oh my god, to the knock up, and that's going to be no goodbye. Sweet Prince, because Bullet gets cast into the back of the head. He will be capped. All those spells and all that magic cannot save you from the lone gun of the law, and that's going to be Bellica rolling through the mid lane. You calling it right there, Cordy. That is going to be a death in the middle, not quite as aware of the mana in the mid lane. It's going to be the Rom King as he falls.
I think Bellica's kind of good. What do you think?
Belica, you know, dude, I mean, she might be okay. You know, they changed the ult, so, you know, not as good, right? You know,
I think the old change might have been for the best.
Dude, honestly, they nerfed her, completely crippled her, completely unplayable character. Very, very sad. I was a Belica main, but you know, they much like Barbara Gordon and the Batman, they crippled the character. So here we are.
Honestly, I don't think I know a Belica main.
Dude,
there's definitely mains out there. We've seen Kalari mains, we've seen Wraith mains, but I don't think I've ever seen a Belica main.
Yeah, man, and like, actually, like, I'm not saying gross, but like, playing her in a competitive format, as it is actually
Great
now,
combos.
getting here is going to be a draw in, coming from Plead, getting a little bit damage across. We do know it's only 20 more seconds before that Belica ult comes back online, putting that Gideon back into the danger zone, because let's be honest, much like Marvel, that bullet coming out of Belica does not care about the multiverses, not really anyway, because it is going to find you like the cash dollars wherever you go, forcing Gideon, forcing Round King to play a very careful, slow game. But top 10 down 2-0 have come back from worse. We've seen in the previous 2 games, this is a resilient team looking to give us a hell of a game, and I'm excited on seeing it.
Wards here on the left side of the map. Plead trying to go in through it again and force the play on Rom. Rom's going to go ahead and back. Low mana here. Going to be forced back to make sure that he comes in poorly prepared to not get comboed so easily in mid. Spirit is up. We do have the Wind Spirit this time, so a little bit better.
Here we go. Much better. Doesn't feel quite as bad. Doesn't make me quite as sad. And in fact, I prefer about the Spirit, and it's going to be a bit of a lazy back, as it is going to be Severog. Maybe his ankle's broken up a little bit. I still am not going to go into my core. Wait, okay, you're going to approach me so very slowly, Gideon. Now I'm going to collect this wave and possibly your life, depending on how Narek is going to play in mid. That is going to be a pull in from the Gideon on the dual lane. That is going to be what appears to be at this juncture 3, as they are starting to push, applying the pressure into the side of the jungle. That is going to be a big old city back to Mako. You know, guys, Rat is on the menu. Call me South Home, sweet Alabama, because that is going to be a miss from the steel ult. However, that meteor is going to erase the Mako out like... Wait, he does die, but does it cost him and his team so very much, as it is going to be Cranky getting a kill on the Gideon onto Ron King, but it's going to be indeed your boy ping it back into Plead before Cranky once again surges forward onto Rye. Cranky going absolutely crazy as he looks to be running down the opponents here, still putting on the Crocs into sports mode, hits the skedaddle out into the lane, and he is rooted, he is stunned. No more and no more, says the Decker, as it is going to be a forced re-engage coming out of the steel, knowing this character is low on resources. Are they going to be getting away? And it is going to be another stun off cooldown, not a moment too soon, as Cranky almost collects himself another kill. Kill favor 5-2 in favor of bad timing.
Yeah, Belica rotating over. Steel missing the ult there on Mako. A lot of commitment for Mako. Belica coming from behind and getting a double knockup, getting some damage off. Unfortunately, Belica was low on mana, so she couldn't get as much damage off. But Cranky on this crunch, able to go in and just do what Crunch does best and punch.
Speaking of the Belica, I would like to take a moment to look at that build real quick, because I thought I saw something a little neat there. As it, yes, indeed, is going to be Joy. We have seen Narek.
Yeah, Narek's been rocking the Joy.
CS every time, just getting the value out of it, knowing that he is going to scale very well into the late game, as that Spirit is going to be procced. And about to get an initiation here is going to be the Crunch as he dashes forward. It is going to be a split initiation. On one side is going to be Sav, Interfire, Burning Bright on one side, and that's going to be a big ult coming from up top out of the ROM, but it is not going to result in not too much, as it is going to be Sav ever lower, but even lower than that is going to be the Grux. It is going to be the Sparrow, as Grux, however, is going to collect the kill onto the Severog, but not before he is collected up by the steel. It is now going to be Belica surging forward. She has collected one of the life of the Drongo, but the arms of the law know no meaning, as she looks to possibly
he got the dash?
hit the bomb and hit the
it blinked.
And she does not have it up. 84 seconds left on it. Only the most perfect combo that you could believe in seeing if you are a Belica main. Here, game 5, kill 7-3, favor at time.
He's still getting chased.
And the far lane is going to be Steal it in the solo lane. Walk down is going to be Rom King, and I think Trashy almost lets him go.
Yeah. Yeah, good play there from Nera, getting the knockup as Gideon was getting that teleport going, forced for Gideon to blink there. So not able to get the kill, but able to get the blink out of Gideon here, and then the chase by Crunch. Unfortunately, getting kills for BT, but not able to capitalize on the objective.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. And we are going to see this Gideon, you know, taking a little bit of a cheeky teleport back to his tower here as he looks to secure himself a bit of CS. Now rotating left side towards Spirit with the rest of his team. It is going to be a definitive grouping here as Spirit is up, and that win Spirit not yet taken is nothing to scoff at. Both of these teams look to group up, and it is going to be Grux here off the rip, who's going to be looking to pull the red. But with priority, one siding is going to still be this team in BT with Narek, but it looks like they allocate to back. Just sitting around the general area, it is going to be Okran allowing himself to get a bit of a power spike here before pushing back, nearly completing his first item. That gold gem, still at tier 1, a little unusual comparatively to what I've seen. Most casters wanting to, most supports wanting to see that like online relatively quickly, but we can see here at these higher levels of play, they're okay with the gold they're getting, it seems.
I mean, Mako is such a cute character. The constant the voice, the VGS, the voice lines whenever he's an ability or jumping. Right now we have a little grouping here at the Spirit for Wind Spirit here. Getting pulled back in is going to be Decker and Severog. A little late rotation from Team BT. Wind Spirit currently at 5k HP.
Indeed, and it is going to slowly but most definitely be getting bursted down here onto the side. Wind Spirit indeed now peeking its head into the cabinet of 3k. A very meticulous, very careful taking of this buff. Over the top is going to be the Rom King Gold, looking to CC down this Grutz. Not as much value as you're going to want to get out of that. Ulted away from the Severog. It's going to be the Crunch forced to retreat. Is Sev, however, the Grutz is going to lock on the Gideon. A little bit of payback for that Vortex, for that gravity, for the reality tear, because you may be dropping rocks, but I am not the normal dinosaur, says Grux, pulling him back into the gray screen. It is now going to be this team in bad timing, reinitiating onto the back of the Wind Spirit, burning very quickly. 4,000, 3,000, now entering onto the 2. It is going to be melted through, now in favor of objective lead as well as skills going bad timing.
Rom King just unfortunately not the best of ults there, getting the Grux, who's just pretty much sat there and absorbed it. Severog taking was really low health, was forced to dash away and get out, and Grux just kept chasing the Gideon there, who teleported in and ulted and had not a lot of mana and a lot of health, but good team right there by BT.
Yeah, man, not a lot, not enough in some cases to survive, but that one is going to be the exception, as it does seem here like it's a bad time looking to gain the holds. And guys, you know I'm gonna have to say it because I said it once and I'm gonna stand by it. The Prime Garling is going to fall very quickly in favor here of bad timing. Now the question is going to come to be, where is it going to be dropped? Everything you have to do, this is game 5, you have to be meticulous, because if you give it up here to top 10, you enter the back foot. They know they can come back 3-0 against you. That is going to give them a momentum to know they can win 2-0 in the next setting. However,
I love
as
this.
it sits now,
the split push by 2, Cranky's like, don't worry, I got it. I'll defend these guys 2v1, no worries.
Yeah, I got this. You know, quite literally, this character is built different. Oh, wait, the tower's gone.
His character model wasn't that big, so he couldn't block all the shots. Underling is going to go down in mid, take that tower. Right tower is going to go down as well.
That's indeed. And man, one thing I feel like we haven't touched on is, can you imagine, Cordy, how amazing this must feel for the players here, not only the viewers but the players, to come back to this game that, guys, lest we not forget, was canceled all those years ago, discarded, and now it is back. It is playable, it is beautiful, and they are able to compete once again like they did previously.
In my opinion, In my opinion, this is a better version of OG Paragon. I love playing OG Paragon, but towards the end, it wasn't as great, and this is a really good rendition of it. I do enjoy this game a lot, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, man. Paragon the Overprime has the vastness and the beauty and just the pacing that I love with all the strategy of a MOBA. Everyone who's been here, everyone who's viewing, everyone who's seen this set, who's seen the previous, who's been here with me, Cordy, top 10, with the Poon Slayers, who's been here with Bad Time, you can see that there's nothing more important than your CS, your objectives, and your team play. At the end of the day, those are the three fundamentals of a MOBA, and I'm just so happy to be able to play my favorite one again. But even more so, I'm so happy that as a new caster, as someone who's just getting into this, that I can watch players play at such a high level and take that information back in with me. Honestly, it's a good time to be here. Once again, Cord, I know I've said it, but thanks for inviting me. Considering the lack of time I have in the rep.
It wouldn't be. No offense to the other casters out there, but I think having you on the cast in this kind of environment, this is something that we needed. This is something that it needed to happen, having this tourney and having a great caster such as yourself, and everyone agrees. You've been hearing it in chat. Yeah, it was a match made in heaven, right? It was a good pairing.
I appreciate it, man.
But
we're back to back, dude. We're running through, dude. We're the duo over here, man.
But getting back on track, yeah, this game is right now in favor of BT. They're doing a really great job of rotating, getting great team fights, getting the objectives. All the towers are down, and him taking a little bit of damage from that prime underling and Spirit. 1 minute left on the Spirit to spawn.
Yeah, man, and stark contrast as well. Like, you can see, unlike in previous games, this team in BT isn't looking to make any risky plays. They are taking sure-fired answers. They know they have a lead. They know they can grow it. They know that if this team comes to them to contest, that they can do it. But look at that. A very smart and immediate pick, and there she is, and there she goes. A root followed by a pull, followed by a couple arrows, results in the immediate demise of a member of top 10 there. Not even caught out. Just the acute awareness of space coming out of this team here in Bad Time.
Yeah, great play there to pick off the Decker. Getting CC chain, unable to dash out. Right now they're camping in the bush, waiting to see if anyone's going to step up.
Here it is, and as we are going to see Crazy making his way into the mid lane, very sentient that he can take at least two of these people.
They're hunting rabbits.
Count. There.
He gave away his position. It doesn't matter either.
However, it is going to be, it looks like a disengage here, getting away relatively quickly and easily. A lot of resources expended here, especially if you're looking to make a play here on the Spirit. You are going to be able to go into this team fight knowing that the Sparrow does not have that inner fire. It will not burn bright. As a matter of fact, it's looking like quite the dark space, but the health bars of this team in top 10 do not look good, and the awareness not so much either, as they are very aware that they don't have a single ward of this on the side of Bad Timing. Thus far, it's going to be an easy and secondary take of Wind Spirit, 4 movement speed, 4 attack speed, and another 4% CDR reduction here, going in favor of this team. There it is, rolling throughout like every single game. Bad Timing, lock a clock, rhythmic, methodical, taking each objective one by one, now sentient in seeing the movement of this team on the other side and knowing that they need to make the play on Prime. They've built their incremental value, and now it's here time to put it to use, as it looks like we might have a Prime Guardian party coming up soon.
Now this is tough. During the tournament, the stream personally, we haven't seen top 10 whenever they get the early lead, they put that aggression and they keep W keying, right? They completely stomp you out of the game. We have not seen them make really good comebacks. Every game that they've won, they've dominated from early on. BT, on the other hand, they have been behind multiple times and were able to come back multiple times. It's going to be interesting to see if top 10 has that in their team, has that chemistry, has that knowledge of how to play and get this come from behind and get a victory.
For sure, man, and it's something that you can only see within these moments. You can only really breathe it into being within these games when the stakes are high. They say pressure can break stone. However, it is the same thing that turns a charcoal piece into a diamond. And we are hoping to see that level of conflict, that level of revolution, as it is now going to be an engage. That Rom ulting one member of this team.
Oh, Rom.
It is going to be Rom King up top using the ult, but he's going to be melted down by that inner fire coming off a cooldown. That is going to be dragged in here by Plead. Look to create a little bit of distance, and he is going to go. X-Ray will secure the kill, but on the back line, it's going to be Crunch creating half, and Wally likes to wreck, and Wally likes to punch, and Wally been watching a lot of Muhammad Ali on VHS and DVD as he sends another member of this team to the gray screen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be a secondary kill for this team, but then it's still pushing forward on the back line.
Blub is throwing.
It's going to be a Blub death on Sparrow. The tower doing a monumental amount of that damage out of the mid lane, though. It is going to be his team able to secure the inhibitor before getting a disengage.
A little misplay there from Blub. Seeing red. Low health bars. Blub going in, taking multiple tower shots from the multiple inhib shots. Inhib is going to go down through mid, though.
There it is, man. The sixth man. Those objectives, those towers, dude. You got to keep your eye on them. They're sneaky.
Yeah, unfortunately, getting good picks, but not able to rotate back and get that Guardian. It'll definitely be more useful if Sparrow was up to help shred down the Guardian. So not able to go and group up. They're going to take a little bit of invade, getting the blue buff. Reneric here going to invade on the jungle side. Wards are going to be up for on the right side, and we'll see if they decide to pull this objective.
Dude, this has been such, like, it seems like at any moment top 10 is ready to do it right. It's like something in a cocoon, but you don't know what it is. Is what's going to fall out going to be a worm, or is it going to be something capable of sprouting back from behind and surging forward? This instance of gameplay, this instance of game, this instance of this event has led to such a captivating finale, or a potential finale, if top 10 is not able to bring it back. 2-4 on an Indeed is not where you want to see him, as he is definitely a momentum leader for this team. 0-4 on Rom King, putting himself behind on CC, but as well as that, just being unable to capitalize on those safe ults that you know he's building the cooldown for. That is why he upgrades Jim. It is for the teleport into the blink as soon as you can, as quickly as you can, so you can get those out of range ults, but not able to land them thus far in the game. This team in top 10 is struggling, but we've seen them struggle and maintain. We've seen them struggle and make it close. Now we need to see them struggle and come back if we want to see this push to a final set. However, on the back end, this is going to be the team in bad timing very safely pulling aggro of Overprime over here. However, it is not going to be a dash out coming from the Crunch. It is going to be closing of the difference coming from Indeed, your boy. However, a big knockup.
The
big damage. That is a momentum shift, and on top it is going to be the Gideon ult that is going to hit more than a few, as it is going to be Rai who kills one, but then Rai is going to be killed by the boy in Crunch, and he likes to punch, and as he folds him over like a lawn chair, it will be Plead who looks to get his revenge on Indeed, your boy, for all those levels he'd been put behind, for all of those invades and games past, and it is going to be 3 dead now in exchange for the life of 1. Sparrow in trade of the Decker, the Seth, and the Drongo, as it looks like this team 2 seconds on the clock, 1 second, and there is going to be the Prime Spirit.
Hey,
Like
3 down, and they're not going for the Guardian.
They are not going for the Guardian. I think it may have to do with a possible uncomfortability and being able to secure it without the Sparrow's damage present, being able to melt it as consistently as they would if with Gideon and Drongo still up, as well as a frontliner. That team in top 10 did decide to take an objective. So at this increment of the game, having, 12% increased attack speed for free, 12% cooldown, thrown on top of an extra 12% movement, sounds good. It sounds like a Smite starting item, basically, at this juncture of the game, as they go for the disengage, go for the Spirit, and are successful in both endeavors, and both of these teams are looking to reset.
Right now, yeah. It's so interesting just seeing how the game has been played out throughout the tournament. It just shows that right now Prime Guardian is a really, really tough spot to pull. You need to be, you can't be like, can we take it? It needs to be a for sure, like, okay, 10 of them are down, we can take Prime Guardian now. It's one of those objectives that's really hard. The layout of it, Again, just the inconsistent of how the pathing works on it, but right now they have these spirits. 3 spirits down. Next spirit's gonna be Scylla. Setting up again one more time, hopefully getting a couple of kills. Then they can pull Guardian.
It seems that Cordy, that the viewers are actually unsure, looking at the comments, why the games would continue going on past this point if top 10 was to win. Do you want to explain that to them?
Yeah. So the tournament is a double elimination. So every team that has lost has gotten to play through the loser bracket. So BT has not lost a set yet. They won every single set. If they do lose, it is because being that it's a best of 5. If they do lose, they are essentially in the loser brackets and they play again, that having to be forced a double elimination. That's why it would be another best of 5.
And it seems like here we're going to get the best of both of these teams, as there's a team fight willing of both. The full 5v5. It is going to be Steel Dash.
3,000.
A little bit of CC on the knock up here. It is going to be 3,000 on the Prime. It is anybody's game. It is anybody's fight. And over the top, that is going to be a big goal coming out of Rom King here on the top of Fleet. As Fire does burn right in. It's going to go in favor of Indeedia Boy. But what will it cost? It will cost the life of 2 so far in exchange for only 1 as well as a Prime. It is going to be Rom King, who's also going to fall to the back line. BT Bluff, the Black Air Force man, getting a double kill as this team, as it is going to be Crazy Crunch.
Crazy, man.
Like the captain, cut to the inside of your mouth, they're cutting through the health bar, these inhibitors, as he makes his way to the mid lane. And this is going to be a rallying of this team, looking to put a cap on this series, quite possibly, as they run in. It is going to be the lone man, the lone ranger. It is going to be Drongo, who stands across, and not for long, as he is going to be melted through. Rye is laid to rest, as it seems like, guys, our series is going to be brought to an end.
Jeez, man. Crazy on Crunch is so dominant this game. Great team fight all around. A little bit of trolling. Okay, it's gonna end. Yeah, crazy on the Crunch, man. In my mind, I'll let you have your choice as well. But in my mind, I think he is the MVP of the finals. He has been rocking. Derek, hands down, really great job on the Bellica, but
phenomenal.
Cranky, sorry, on the Crunch. Absolute just dominated.
Yeah, man, dude, absolutely phenomenal play coming out of these guys here. Like, Nair played out of his mind, but Cranky was like the conductor at the station. He was telling the train to go. He was telling it to stop, and green most of the time meant go, because that dude was dashing into your back line, getting active, getting ready, getting aggressive. Whenever his team needed it to, he was the stanchion. He was the momentary blink. He was the aggro. He was the wall. He was the army. He was the cops. And he locked down and locked up a lot of the altercations throughout that game. I have to give it to him. That was incredibly good play. And truly got to give it up to Bad Timing there. Phenomenal. Everyone put it on a show, not only for these viewers, but for themselves, because Paragon's back, and they just showed that.